Cold and rainy on this championship Sunday in Upper Montclair Country Club, Clifton, New Jersey. And Rose Zhang, after a par at the first, now tied with Madeline Sackstrom, sharing a 10-shot lead. Grant Boone, Morgan Pressel.
Rose missed it left yesterday in the penalty area. Not liking this one, but soft enough today that it should remain in play.
She hit 2 tee balls in the water yesterday, leading to bogey. Morgan and I joined by Tom Abbott, calling the odd-numbered holes, and Karen Stupples has the pleasure of watching these two battle today. And Karen, it is a tie game now after a bogey from Madeline Sackstrom at the first.
It is. I think there was a little bit of nerves on the chip shot, trying to get a little bit too cute with it, and that cost her. But actually, it turned out to be quite a good bogey in the end. And I think when you can actually make a good bogey out of something, you know, that can really work in your favour too. And you can say, okay, first hole's done. Now it's time to get on with it.
Gorgeous day yesterday, sunny, temperatures in the 60s. Morgan, today, cold.
Today it is quite chilly and wet. These players, not raining right now, but it rained all throughout their warm-up.
This was Rose just trying to get some kind of a stance here for her third at the first.
Yeah, it almost looked like she could fall into the bunker while trying to set up for this shot and wait for it.
She wasn't reacting because she was excited. She was trying to just get her balance.
I mean, what a remarkable shot here. The balance that is required at the slope of that bunker is really steep, and nobody wants to fall on live television.
No, she'll take it. And that par pulls her into a tie with Sackstrom. Story coming into the week: Nelly Korda trying to make history as the first to ever win 6 in a row. A couple of pars for Nelly to start as she plays 3.
She made a really solid par putt on the first hole of about 12-15 feet. She rolled in a putt for birdie there on 3 yesterday.
This is Gabby Ruffles having a terrific rookie season, but in a bit of trouble here at the second. So this is for par.
Drove it in that penalty area that we saw Rose and Madeline both skirt by on the left side. Should be a great save there. It's that kind of a day of patience. There's still, a lot of money, a lot of CME points on the line, fighting for, at this point, what looks to be 3rd place.
And a player like Esther Henseleit has a lot to play for. She's trying to make the Olympic team from Germany, in line to do it as Tom, we are here just a few weeks away from that period ending.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of qualifications that we're looking at this year. Esther's going to be in the running for Solheim Cup and also that Olympic team, so we'll be keeping our eye on those races as the year goes on. As we go back over to the 3rd hole.
Welcome back to the booth, by the way.
I picked a good day to be back in the booth.
I would think so, yeah.
I was out there walking around earlier, and it was miserable out there. The rain came down fairly heavily this morning, and it's supposed to brighten up as the round continues, but still pretty miserable for those players out on the golf course.
It's a beautiful day of golf for an Englishman.
Do you know that it's in the mid-70s today in London? That is not going to be Nelly's best effort, so she's working hard for a par there, having parred the first couple of holes. We'll go back to the second.
And the second for Rose at this par 5.
Yeah, just going to lay it up short of the penalty area. And you can't fall asleep on this. And I mean, this is something that Rose did well yesterday. She laid up on some of these par 5s and then hit really great wedges into the greens.
Yeah, this is good.
Madeline did the same thing too. There was a couple of par fives that I felt like she could have got 2 in 2 and decided to lay out, but then walked off the greens with birdies on those holes. So she too has a game plan, and she's very comfortable hitting her wedges as well. So it's a smart play today into the wind. I should say into the cold wind.
How much, Karen, do you think players are needing to add for the temperature and the heavy air?
It's probably, I mean, I'd say temperature and air, probably about 10. About probably an extra club they're going to have to play.
Plus having to wear extra layers just restricts your backswing and your ability to hit the distance you want as well.
So the 11th, Leona Maguire trying to hold one from out the bunker, and she does exactly that. Well, the sand's going to be very wet and not particularly pleasant today, so that was a really nice effort. I was out there watching Nelly yesterday, and that was the day where she needed to continue this incredibly good form, and it just didn't happen. It was around a 73, and as she said, nothing was really going right for her yesterday, Morgan.
She was just off with her swing, which we haven't seen quite like that during this stretch, and then that put a lot of pressure on the rest of her game, especially on this club. She just looked tentative, Tom, and obviously trying to accomplish an incredible feat. She is human, after all.
Yeah, she said that. Well, she's equaled the record. Still an outside chance that she may set a new record of 6 consecutive victories, but it would have to be some golf for the rest of the day from Nelly. You can just see the puddling there back in the fairway. That shows you how much rain they had this morning. This is Andrea Lee. Andrea was bitterly disappointed to miss the cut in the JM Eagle LA Championship, being close to home there. Bouncing back here with a cut made, but still a little off the sort of form that we saw last year from her.
You think that this would be a perfect golf course for Andrea, a player who one of the biggest strengths of her game is her accuracy off the tee. Players have talked so much about how this course is quite claustrophobic.
And she won at a place that's claustrophobic, Portland. Back at the second, Sackstrom's third.
Yeah, left edge of the board, perfect.
And both Madeline and Rose have exactly the same number into the green. They were looking at each other for who was going to be away. Madeline pulled the club out first. It's 102, and this is a gap wedge for Madeline. There's a little backstop long on the left of this hole, but you don't want to go too much to the right because everything will just funnel off the green.
There's a shelf right there, and she's able to keep it on the top. But as you can see, just as you mentioned, Karen, how soft these greens are, really have to control the spin. And Madeline landed that almost on the back edge.
Yeah, that's really knowing how much you're going to get spin. Rose has got the same club. Gap wedge. Going at this just with a little bit more height than Madeline, a little bit more to the right as well.
It's a little bit of a false edge there. They'll hold up, though.
So Zhang and Sackstrom 10 clear of their closest pursuers. Birdie putts in a moment. Birdie putts for our co-leaders at the par 5 second. Rose Zhang goes first.
I think she was quite fortunate to stay on the green. She's probably about 6 inches from rolling off the edge of the green to the right. But because she's sort of challenged that right side, she's got a fairly straight putt on her hands.
That's an interesting putt. Definitely a little bit tentative. She was really focused, Karen, on the ball. What was in front of her? She only took one really brief look out at the hole. It's very focused on what's right in front of her instead of reacting to what she sees on the hole.
I think, Morgan, sometimes when a player does that, it's because there can be confusion on the line the more you look up towards the hole, and I think the focus then becomes, okay, I just want to get this ball started on my chosen line and just trust that this is right. Otherwise you try to manipulate the putt sometimes, and I think that's what she's trying to avoid there. Madeline's putt is uphill, and she said that she's very comfortable reading these greens. Yesterday she felt like she had everything going for her, both the line and the speed.
And the opposite for Madeline there. Took one really long last look at the hole, reacted to what she saw. It's something that she's trying to work on, being more of an athlete. I always think, like, if you're throwing a ball, you're looking at the target. In golf, you're looking down at the ground, at the ball in your hand, basically.
Big bounce back for Madeline, leads by 1, 15.
This is Lynn Grant's tee shot. She's got the best round going on the golf course right now. 5 under for the day and a chance to get it to 6 under par for the round. She's close to moving inside the top 5. This is Natalia Guseva at the 5th. Terrible start for the Goose. Couple of drop shots and a double bogey early, but she's just birdied the 4th. So trying to bounce back.
Giving out nicknames, Tom.
That's her nickname, the Goose.
There you go. Nelly, world number 1, second of the 4th.
And front hole location is accessible today. Pretty big misjudge there of club. A full club long.
To 3.
It's a lovely looking hole, this. We don't get to see it too often early in the round.
Tom, it is awkward though off the tee.
Yeah.
And the reason for the awkwardness off the tee is this is quite a big dogleg round to the left with your tee shot, and there are some really big trees on the corner that do come into play. So players.
What's the line, Karen?
Well, I think you hit it on the edge of the tree. I don't think the players can go through today because of the softness of the fairways. I think that makes the tee shot just a bit easier. Oh, she went right over the middle of it. That's what her power can do.
Yeah, how about that? And also those soft conditions, Karen. It's 300 to run out the end of the fairway where the penalty area runs through. But of course, if it was firm and fast, the longer hitters would be thinking about that. This is just really soft.
Well, and the thing is, too, you've got to be able to flight your ball high enough to get it over the middle of those trees, too. So Madeline has got both those two things going for her. Rose, I think, will have to play a little bit more to the right. Doesn't hit the ball as far as Madeline.
Yeah, going to be just fine. Nelly has the club twirl. Does Rose have the little kick? Do you see, like, the kick back with the foot? Is that the indication from Rose that she's hit a good one?
I'm not sure. We'll have to
keep
pay
an
attention
eye
to
on
that.
Yeah.
Nelly Korda for birdie at the 4th. Oh, ow. Thought that was in.
It was really important for Nelly to challenge this lead at all. to get off to a really good start, put 2 or 3 birdies up on the board early, and just not been able to do that.
Check in with Gabby Ruffles. Has this for a birdie at the 3rd. Yeah, nicely done. Gabby played well yesterday, round of 67. Was out in 32. And she's back to where she started the day.
Playing with Nelly at the 4th is Japan's Mao Saigo.
She got a good read of how fast this putt is.
Been a top 5 player on the JLPGA the last few years, making her debut in the U.S. this year as an LPGA rookie.
Guseva now for back-to-back birdies, trying to fight her way back after that horrible start. Lives down in the Orlando area. Went to UCF, the University of Central Florida, where she is a volunteer assistant coach. Spent some time in Miami as well, so Florida-based. Yeah, Gabby Lopez here at the 15th. Hit it in that right bunker. I don't think she had a very good lie in there. Could only get it out to here. And so trying to chip one in. It's pretty narrow there. I think it looks wider from this angle. When you get down there, it's pretty narrow, the front of this green. Those bunkers come into play.
Yeah, it's only about 10 paces wide, Tom. But these bunkers today are going to be something to watch out for. A lot of the rain fell after the course had already been prepared for the day, so potentially even more of a penalty to be in the bunker today with the wet sands after probably about 0.3 of an inch fell since the start of the day. Look, you can see the puddles in the middle of that 15th fairway.
Yeah, you're out there, Karen. What's it like underfoot at the moment?
There are many places out here that are reasonably dry, but there are some places that sit quite low, and there's a lot of puddling about. But the ball will have a lot of moisture on it in general, and I think that you'll see some water come up with some of these swings that the players will make when they make contact. That was a 6-iron for Rose.
Just clipped it. Get a bit better. There's quite a steep slope there on the edge of the green, and a ridge which runs through the middle of this long green, 43 paces front to back. Shaped a bit like a cashew nut, this green.
I just don't see any other club. I think this is perfect for a full one of these, straight at it. Yeah.
So Marthin's got a wedge out here, pitching wedge. Ball is above her feet. There's a little bit of wind helping. Rehearsal swing was looking to keep that club face square going through the ball. Got a little bit of draw on it.
He'll come back a long way from there.
This was the hole that really derailed her chances to win here a couple of years ago. Had a triple bogey on this hole, but safely aboard the green here on 3. Good safe play.
Yeah, you can see the danger that lurks on this hole. Certainly catches players out. Back at the 3rd hole here. And let's take a look at what Rose has done here. This was in the first round, really early days of the tournament, and kind of would be the story for the rest of the week for Rose Zhang, when she was getting that putter hot. This was in the 2nd round. Remember, she was playing the golf course the other way around, so playing this as the 2nd 9. Pretty tight on that right side. It leaves it below the hole. And that would get her to 11 under par in that round of 68 on Friday. Great start, 63, 68 for Rose over the first couple of days, added 67 in round 3, and it really has become a match play battle between two Solheim Cup players, Sagström and Zhang. Here is Madeline trying to make the birdie at number 3.
This putt's got a little bit of everything. A bit of right to left, left to right, and then up and down, and Madeline puts another good roll on it with another opportunity just skipping by the edge.
Speaking of Swedish Solheim Cup players, here's Lynn Grant. Get it to 8 under par for the tournament. Oh, great look there. Only a few weeks ago, Lynn was back in Sweden where it was so cold. Greens were frozen. She was hitting balls off frozen grass, so maybe the cool conditions are not too bad for her. Now Rose for another birdie at number 3.
Oh, and this has got some movement to the right in it.
Just stayed out there. The deeper they go into the round, the more they can forget about the rest of the field and really just go head to head. Now, Sagström.
I'd say there's not a huge amount in this one, Tom.
Got a lot going on with her golf ball there. Some players they wouldn't be able to do that with that much stuff on the ball.
You know, I played
You
with the
used it,
Truvis
right?
ball as well, and after about a week, I didn't even notice it.
Really?
It was just... I remember I was a little bit hesitant at first. Like, I don't know if I can play with this ball, and then I loved it. I loved having it. I knew exactly which golf ball was mine.
Yeah, they're just coming up a little shy there. Flag right on the front at number 5. She loves to chip the ball, so maybe we'll be able to chip that in.
Se-Young Kim at the 4th. Chance to join that group at 8 under. Winner here a couple of years ago, Minjee Lee, just a moment ago. Okay, Minjee's going to get to 5 under. That'll move her into the top 15.
That's playing as one of the easiest holes on the golf course today. Minjee absolutely taking advantage here.
We've been noting this for the last, nearly 48 hours, just the spread from the top 2 to the rest of the field. Massive advantage for this final pair, and Sagström up 1.
This is a interesting tee shot. It's blind for where Madeline's tee shot's going to land.
It is, though. I mean, shocking when you look up at this leaderboard and you wonder what golf course they're playing. I mean, you know, it's not too unusual for one player maybe to get 4 or 5 shots ahead, but for 2 players, Karen, to separate themselves so dramatically, it's almost unheard of.
It really is. And I mean, on this golf course too, you think about the tee shots, the approach shots, the short game skills, and the putts that these players have both made these first 3 days. Just simply quite outstanding. That'll be just fine.
I might leave her with a slightly more hanging lie, potentially in the first cut here. than what Madeline will have. She got it quite a bit further down over that hill.
All right, down we go onto the course to hear from Karen.
Thanks very much, Madeline. Thanks so much for joining me out here today. I know this is, right in the middle of your final round and everything. At the start of the day, do you still feel nerves? You're quite experienced out here, but do you still feel that nervousness?
Well, I wasn't planning on trunking the chip on one, so I said to Shane, I was like, oh yeah, I think I am nervous. I probably felt a little bit more nerves yesterday, but I don't believe that nerves make you play bad. So I think it's the heat of the moment. This is the position you want to be in, so I think it's a good thing.
That's for sure. And we've talked a little bit on there about how this feels a little bit like match play. Does it feel like that to you?
No, I'm trying not to. I'm actually trying to play a bit more match play with myself. My best friend Julia gave me a tip a few weeks ago when I was struggling a little bit more. She's like, play 3 holes at a time. So I'm really trying to do that, trying to birdie once every 3 holes, and that's kind of what we're going to stick to today.
Now, it's Mother's Day here in America. Is it Mother's Day in Sweden too?
No, the 26th of May, I believe. So it's I'll have to say Happy Mother's Day to my mom anyways.
I was going to say, is there anybody else you'd like to say hello to back in Sweden right now?
No, everyone's been watching. People have been texting me, and it's a lot of fun. I'm ruining people's sleep schedule, but other than that, it's good. No, it's just nice to have the support, even though I'm far away from home. So everyone watching that know me, I love you guys.
Thanks so much for your time, and go crush it.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. And special thanks to Madeline in the middle of our broadcast, in the middle of her big day here. Who could say no to Karen? You could try, but it's no use. Say Young Kim for birdie to get to 8 under. Oh, another. By the way, it is 7:30 p.m. in Sweden, where Len Grant and Madeline Saxton fans are tuning in.
Dare I say, potentially a similar temperature as well.
And Tom mentioned Len playing in the cold the last few weeks. Good preparation for today as we go to the 5th.
Nelly loves to chip the ball. Let's see if she can chip it in. Good chance. Just there's something about chipping the ball around the greens that Nelly just loves. I mean, she's so good with the wedge. We talk about Lydia Ko having imagination everywhere around the green. I think in total Lydia Ko is just the wizard, but when Nelly's on it with a shot like that, you fancy her to make it every time.
I think the impressive part are the tight lies. It's almost the tighter the lie, the better she chips.
At the 4th, the second for Rose Zhang.
Rose has got 91 yards. Just drifted off into that first cut. But it's got a decent lie. She's got a gap wedge out. But it's a tough angle, really, because she's got to carry over the front bunker, and then it's going to land on a downslope. Got to try and get some spin on this. It is into the wind, so that'll help. Lofted this really high.
And really straight.
Just being in that first cut ended up helping Rose out here. We saw how much spin Se-Young had in the group ahead. This green sloped so severely from back to front. That landed really softly with no spin. And a kick in birdie.
Karen, what'd you think about?
Yeah.
Start it straight at it.
Start it straight at it. If it drops down right of it,
Yeah.
perfect. So you're thinking, what number you feeling?
I like the 85. You
Yep.
like that?
I like that. I think that's good.
So Melis's got...
Karen, just a thought about what she said about to you. She's trying not to make it a match play situation. I thought that was interesting.
Well, it is, because it means that you focus on your own game. And, to play that 3 holes at a time game with yourself is actually a really healthy way to approach golf in general, because little 3-hole matches are pretty cool. That was from 79. Looking for some spin.
The interesting about those 3-hole matches, Karen, is I think that lends you to be more aggressive if you feel like you're only looking at 3 holes and not as defensive as you could be looking at the round and the broader spectrum.
Up ahead at the 6th, Nelly Korda. She needed to do today something that had never been done in LPGA history to try to accomplish something that had never been done. Come from more than 10 back. She was 11 back when the round began and remains so.
I think even just to continue to put herself in contention, it's through this remarkable run here. It's really impressive.
Lynn Grant for birdie at 16. By the way, this good day for Lynn is going to likely keep her ahead of Madeline in the Rolex rankings, even if Madeline were to go on to win. And that's important because there are a couple of spots on the Swedish Olympic women's golf team at stake here in the next month or so. Zhang ties Sagstrom at 19 under. So you know it's close when you go ahead and finish up before your opponent putts. This is another look, Morgan.
Yeah, just off a hanging lie. Karen mentioned how high she was able to throw this ball in the air from the ball so far below her feet. And it's one of the things Ollie Brad, her caddy, told me, that she just has marvelous distance control with her irons. It's, I think, in the 3rd week that he worked for her, that was one of his takeaways, that I cannot believe her ability to control her distances with her irons.
Sagstrom using that aim point as she's used, Karen, for the last 3 years. And as you noted, she really had it dialed in yesterday, really all week, but especially yesterday.
She did. She actually, referenced it in her interviews after her round, how important it was, and how comfortable she is trusting those reads. And even, when it's like it could be between a 1 and a 2, she kind of readjusts when she feels it in her feet over the ball, and she has it dialed in.
She had the aim pretty good there, but a bit short. So Sagstrom even through 4, the bogey and the birdie. I thought it was interesting watching her, listening to her laugh off that chunked chip shot at the first hole.
Yeah, it's, some people think it's taboo to think about being nervous and admitting that you're nervous, but being self-aware and understanding how your body reacts in those situations is half the battle.
I think Gabby Ruffles is learning that in this, her first full season on the LPGA Tour. Lovely approach there for Ruffles, chance to get it to 9 under par.
We're at the 6th, and the 22-year-old from Japan, Saigo, for birdie.
I should fall a little bit to her left here.
Been inside the top 20 in the Rolex rankings a couple of years ago. A little further down the rankings at the moment.
Looking back towards the tee at the 5th hole. Players walk back from the 4th green to this tee box, and it looks like less than driver for Rose here.
Oh, I think they're worried about running through the fairway on the right into the bunker and into the trouble. The rough also cuts in a little bit as well. So this tee shot plays downhill, and there is out of bounds and trouble down at the left.
Yeah, being up the right side of the fairway. Really good angle there.
5 straight pars for Nelly. This for birdie at 6. Longest putt she's made today was for par. That was at 1.
Back over to the tee at the 5th, and Sagström.
This is one of those holes, Tom, that you can't overpower. As much as you want to whack a driver down there, this makes it a little bit more stressful.
You seem to like that one.
Yep, no problem.
Go up to the green where we'll find Gabby Ruffles. Get her to 9 under. Yeah. Solo third right now. There are a lot of players battling for solo third. Among them Nelly Korda. But it is Rose Zhang and Madeline Sagström who have distanced themselves from the rest of the field. They're battling away here in Clifton, New Jersey.
At the par 3/6, it's Gabby Ruffles alone in third.
As we've seen this front hole location today on 6, it's made this one of the easiest holes on the golf course. Second easiest hole to be exact. But if you're in between clubs, you definitely have to err on the long side right there, like Gabby just did.
Back on the 5th fairway. Sagström to go first here, Karen.
She is. That's 136. Placed down about 3. And she's got a 9 on, so this is going to be a control shot for her. Does have a bit of a downhill lie.
Lovely. Stuffing it in there very close and a good chance for a birdie. That was art there from Sagström. Now how will Rose respond? You've got to give these two so much credit, Karen, the way that they've played.
No kidding. I mean, just ridiculous how they've responded to each other as well. Like, they're trading shots. One for one, feeding off each other, and neither one of them backing down. Rose also has a 9-iron out here, 134. It's a fuller swing.
Just outside the mark. Yeah, wonderful stuff. And a chance for these two to get it to 20 under par. Lowest winning score this year. Patty T, the Honda LPGA Thailand. She finished 21 under par. Tavatanakit's victory there.
This is Nasa at the 15th.
Let's see what the Japanese star can do. Yeah, very good. Right in the heart of the green today.
Gabby Ruffles has this for birdie at the 6th. Second currently in the Louis Suggs Rolex Rookie of the Year points race behind Jin Hee M, who's also here this week, tied for 16th.
That's a huge goal of Gabby's coming into this year. She talked about how she felt quite nervous to start the season, even though she'd had other starts under her belt. She played in the KPMG Women's PGA last year, just down the road at Baltusrol. But nothing quite like playing as an official member, knowing what is at stake and trying to first keep your card. And Gabby probably almost past that point now, and now really playing for a win.
She talked about being caught off guard. It's already mid-May of her rookie season. You think about last year, speaking of Baltusrol, just down the road, it's where Roning Yen became a major champion with a 72nd hole birdie. Good day for Roning. She'll have that to go 4 under for the day and 8 under for the tournament.
From the angle behind the hole, it looked like Rose was away, but this angle you can see it's Sagstrom first.
They're one of those putts, Tom, that as you approach the green, they get closer to the hole. Those are always the nice ones to have. Most of the time when I played, I would approach the green and they'd be miles away. But this is a good chance here. It's a little bit downhill at the start, then it's going to straighten up. Oh, like it was nothing.
I just love the way these two are feeding off each other, are challenging each other, and each really are rising to that occasion. It is just remarkable.
Tournament scoring record here, Upper Montclair, 19 under par, Minjee Lee a couple of years ago. So now Sagstrom gets it to 20 under, and the likelihood that the winning score will be the record score come the end of the day for here at Upper Montclair. See if Rose can match Sagstrom.
And I don't see a huge amount in this one either. I think the ball is just slightly above her feet, so indicating it might go left.
Yeah. Se-Young Kim won at 27 under par back in 2016. Of course, that was when this event was played in the desert in Phoenix at Wildfire Golf Club. Very different feel to what we have here in New Jersey. Saw that lovely tee shot from Nasa. Now has this for 3 straight birdies. Yes, there you go. Hat trick for Hataoka on the back 9, and she is just outside of the top 10, tied for 11th. Projected to move to 17th in the race to the CME Globe, with where she stands at the moment. Up a couple of spots, 3 holes to play. Go to the 7th hole. This is Nelly Korda's second.
This was kind of the hole of her undoing yesterday, Tom. Got off to a bit of a slow start, but then sloppy 3-putt here on 7. She never really was able to recover.
Yeah, the driver was not on song yesterday. The putter wasn't really working as it has done. It was a bit of a struggle. It was a shame to see, because it could have been such a wonderful weekend with her battling Rose and Sagstrom. To 10.
And Roning Yen for another birdie. Briefly reached number 1 in the world last fall. Ho Zhang, of course, number 1 longer than anyone in the world amateur golf rankings, and she only lost that spot when she turned pro. And how did she celebrate? With a victory in her very first professional start. 2020. Rose Zhang and Madeline Sagstrom at the 6th.
Just a short shot here today on this 6th hole. Hole location right at the front of the green. And the front is looming with the penalty area. Got to be a little bit right of this flag. It's just a controlled swing by Rose.
Straight. Exactly. Yeah. Perfect.
Madeline, I mean, she has a little blueprint because she watched Rose's. Rose had a very controlled swing there. And so Madeline, I suspect, will go with one less club. It's probably a wedge. Didn't get a signal from her caddy. But I think she can fire this one. Similar kind of spot to Rose's, where Rose's pitching and zip it back to the hole.
Here's the zip.
I mean, this performance that we are watching is just truly incredible. Somewhat speechless the way that they have played so far this week and continue to do under the pressure of Championship Sunday.
In the background is Rose Zhang. Lines up a putt for birdie here at 6.
And this looks like this has to move to the right. The whole of this side of the green looks like it's going to bend down towards the water.
Just when you get above the hole, Karen, you can't be too aggressive with it. Just never had enough pace on the line she chose. But Madeline's putting from, couldn't have placed it in a better spot to putt from there.
No, again, it was really good use of where to land it on the green, and knowing where the slopes are with the amount of spin that you're putting on it to get the best possible result. And that in itself requires a level of discipline to actually stick to your target, which is right of the flag, and not try and pull it towards the hole, because a lot of players will do that. I still think this putt's going to move a bit to the left.
Just a fantastic view we had there, straight down the line, the way her line on the putter lined up perfectly with the line on the golf ball, inside right center. Easy birdie. They're just both making it look exceptionally easy right now on a cold, tough day to play, tough golf course.
Madeline took the lead with a 2-shot swing at the second hole yesterday, has not trailed since then. She's been caught a couple of times, but now back in front by 1. 7.
Try and make up for what happened yesterday. As Morgan was saying, the drop shot with the 3-putt, and this time just running a little ways by, but should be a par for Nelly. It'll be another par. It's been all pars so far today in this final round of the Cognizant Founders Cup. Let's go to the tee at the 8th.
And Pei-Yun Chen tied for 4th with the Olympics on her mind. She's in position to make it for Taiwan. And a whole bunch of shots like this over the last couple of years. She's been trending toward a first LPGA title, putting herself in position.
Well, Leona Maguire lives in Florida now, but certainly would have played in some tough conditions growing up in the Republic of Ireland. And I thought that was just going to kick on down to the flag there, the soft greens, and it stopped up. Still, she'll have a putt to get it to 4 under par. Now, Se-Yeon Kim. She was talking yesterday about the fact she had the week off last week. The LPGA Tour did not play an event last week. So she was back home practicing her driving, trying to work on driving the ball, because she knew how difficult it was going to be here and how much there was a premium on accuracy just off the fairway. But the power she has, that makes such a difference. There's not much room. Wow, look at that.
If you look statistically, that is one of her weaker stats, is her driving. So you'd think coming to a golf course like this that is so claustrophobic, it wouldn't really suit her game.
And that flag today, I was out there earlier, all the way at the back of the green, and as you could see from Zhang, that wasn't a poor shot, and it just ran off the back. There's a few yards of downhill at the back of that green. Back to the tee, and Sackstrom.
Just waiting for the volunteers with the group in front to move along up the fairway. The wind, there's a little bit of help in this tee shot.
There much breeze out there, Karen?
When we first started, there wasn't anything at all, and it was raining. It was a bit miserable. But then once we got going, there was just a hint of breeze pickup, and the rain stopped. So I'm kind of digging the wind a little bit right now that it's taken the rain away.
Yeah, the last group was out at 12:45 local time, so they've been out on the golf course about an hour and 15 minutes.
It's still fairly negligible. I mean, I'd say probably 3 to 4 miles per hour of wind. And that's a great drive.
Stops so quickly. They're not playing preferred lies today.
If anything, I was going to say a little right left.
It's okay, I think.
Hard to tell if that's right on the edge of a divot or not there,
Yeah,
Tom.
I was a little concerned that it was next to its pitch mark. If the ball embeds in its pitch mark, you can move it, but if it's right next to it, or you can't. Now, Rose.
Oh, and sometimes there's a discrepancy if it's actually its pitch mark or if it's somebody else's pitch mark.
Is that Graham McDowell at the Players one year did that at 16?
I believe that's right, yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was him. Yeah. It ran into somebody else's pitch mark. It might have been Paul Casey, actually. One of those two.
Here is Shi Yulin at the 8th, and another good week. At no point really in contention to win, but a tie for 4th at the moment.
So the great tee shot from Leona Maguire. She had a good run at the match play this year. Lost in the final to Nelly. Nelly really took it. Wow, how about that? Took over in that final, but Maguire played very well that week. But that's really been the highlight of her season.
And here is Chen at the 8th. So Chen, like Lin, both at -8 as they leave the 8th. But this weekend is all about Rose and Madeline. Madeline up 1 at the moment.
Gabby Ruffles for a par at the 7th. Missed the green short. Has this to stay in solo 3rd. Fall back into a tie, which is her career best finish. That came at Palos Verdes. Let's go to 8.
Yeah, that's where Nelly Korda won her 2nd straight. Here's Nelly, tee shot at the 8th.
Yeah, just you can, from Pyun Chen, you can use that backstop, but wow, that's a short-sided miss there. That's going to be a really tough bunker shot.
Wasn't the best chip for Se-Yeon Kim from behind the green. Only managed to get it to here, so just to save par. No, it's not a particularly difficult hole, the 7th, so unusual for both of those players to drop shots there. go to the 15th. And hate on you. This was a moment ago. Oh, yeah, all over it. Difficult start of the day today for Hate on You, but that was in the worst of the weather. 3 bogeys in the first 4 holes, but then settled into the round. A player who was the Louis Suggs Rolex Rookie of the Year last year, Hate on You, to a player who is very much in contention to secure that title come the end of the season, Gabby Ruffles this year. Yeah, it's her bogey. Player of the Year on the Epsom Tour in 2023 with 3 victories. Did play some LPGA events, but now full-time on the LPGA. Rose Zhang and Ollie Brett. Ollie was caddying for Chris Kim, the youngster from Walton Heath, who played in the CJ Cup Byron Nelson last week. Played all 4 rounds, so there was a connection there, and he had a chance to caddy for Chris Kim. Said he was just a really delightful young man and a very, very talented player.
Following in the footsteps of another great Walton Heath Jr., Tom Abbott.
Well, yeah, Chris Kim is a little better than me, but very proud of him at Walton Heath. And we'll see how he progresses this season. Now Rose.
It's got a good lie here, really flat. And it's up 148. The wind is helping.
It's only about 3 paces behind this flag stick. Expect this to come up a little short and right.
Well, down there to the left of the green is Nelly Korda at the 8th.
As tall as Nelly is, you can tell how deep that bunker was and everything sloping away from her. Hard to get it much closer than that.
But
Like it's not normal fairway.
no, I'm with you.
You know, here I understand.
Yeah.
It's a divot, but that's not.
It's also divot-like, and we wouldn't mark that either. So as long as it's flat, and it's not like super pitted or anything like that, you can get the ball on the club fairly, then we wouldn't mark it just as part of our policy. So yeah.
Okay.
Like I don't think it's not set down enough to where you wouldn't be able to get a ball on the club fairly. Does that make sense?
But it's not.
So, but if it would be,
Even
but
if
what
it's abnormal.
if it would be in there.
It may be
maybe the
a little
fairway.
bit different, right?
Okay.
So, as we do throughout the year, even if it's bare, as long as it's decently flat, we don't mark it.
But do you not think that's below the ground surface, the bottom of the ball there? Like if you had the ball here or here, do you not think it's higher than?
I'm not disagreeing that is like below the grass level, but I know that she can get a club on the ball there fairly.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Looking for relief from abnormal ground conditions or abnormal course conditions, which is rule 16 in the rules of golf, but wasn't going to get any relief there. Karen, as you heard.
No, I mean, I think it's always worth calling just on the off chance, and I've seen rules officials actually go ahead and mark an area of ground under repair that they had mistakenly missed. I think this is it looks a little rough, and I think the rub of the green has not been in Madeline's favour in this situation. I think you have to tell yourself, watch how good I am from a tough lie.
To be fair, that might be one of the only areas like that on the entire golf course. Officials saying they didn't put any ground under repair out there to start the week. Just in fabulous shape, this golf course, and what a response. She doesn't need a drop.
Yeah.
What a shot.
She is locked in. Nelly not as much on the weekend. She was 4 back through 36 holes. This for par at 8. And after after 7 pars, a bogey. I mean, this happens once every few lifetimes. I mean, a streak like this, Nancy Lopez 5 in a row, Annika 20 years ago 5 in a row, Nelly 5 in a row. It's not going to happen this week. It doesn't appear.
This is Rose for a birdie at the 7th.
Just have a little bit of uphill to this, and she's going to give a decent read to Madeline.
We'll go over to the 16th, not too far away.
And Padjariya Nanarukarn, a hole that's yielded just a couple of birdies on the weekend. Oh, meow. Drops it in for a 3. It's her tie nickname.
Gosh, second birdie of the day today on 16, 18th for the week. Such a hard hole. Almost playing closer to a par 5 for the week.
Sackstrom here to open up a 2-shot lead.
Yeah, and she got a decent read from Rose's putt.
Kind of seemed like Rose misread her putt a little bit. It definitely stayed more right than she was looking, and sometimes when you see that, it still becomes hard to trust. If you in your mind see it as straight or maybe even falling a little bit left, it's hard to trust that it actually does go to the right.
Gabby Ruffles, couple of birdies, couple of bogeys today. Tied for 3rd. Seven again.
Yeah, just a little one here for Rose.
Yeah, a little bit more in this than she would have wanted. I mean, it always is the good news that you get past the hole. You got to see the line. No problem.
Xu Lin. Janet Lin with her 3rd at the 9th. Just made her first birdie of the day at the 8th. And a chance to finish off the front 9 with back-to-back birdies.
Gabby Ruffles at the 8th.
One of the unusual greens on this golf course that actually slopes away from the players on the tee box. So that putt just slightly downhill. But Gabby's been very impressive so far in her LPGA Tour debut. I was really impressed with the way she played on Sunday at Palos Verdes.
Had a putt to get into the playoff on the 72nd hole, just missed it. 9.
Xu Lin. Talked about that battle for 3rd place. It's going to be a pretty tight battle, I think, the end of the day, and that could be very costly for Xu Lin come the end of the day. Great look there.
Unfortunately, there's no bronze medal here this week.
There is not.
There are some points, and there is some money.
Correct.
But no bronze medal.
And she'll be thinking about a medal come the Olympics in early August.
Se Young Kim at the 8th for par. And over at the 16th, Leona Maguire for birdie.
Yeah, look at how much break she's playing here on this putt.
Oh, they're just dropping every pair now at the 16th. We had one coming into these last few minutes. Now Leona and Padre have gone back to back. Ruffles. Oh.
That could be jarring mentally when you've putting together such a solid round. She's looked really in control, and then really an unforced error there, that 3-putt. So it just has to refocus, resettle herself, shake it off. Goldfish, short memory.
From a tie for third down to a tie for sixth. Fifth, I guess, after that bogey. Our final pair with Sagstrom up by 1. Ready here at the par 3.
Yeah.
Matthew's got a 6-iron. The wind is a little bit off the right. This, again, it's not a huge amount. And there's finally a hint of blue sky, which is very welcome.
I think, Karen, about the conditions that the players who played early this morning really never had much of a chance to move up this leaderboard, in the sense that they played in the very worst of the weather.
This is on a decent line, Morgan. Could be good.
Trying to use the backstop a little bit. I mean, both of these players just taking dead aim at everything, Karen, and really trying to put pressure on the other.
Well, and that's kind of what you want to see, isn't it? Players, you know, even with this big of a lead, you know, not sitting back, still playing aggressive, still making birdies. And Rose has got a 5 hybrid out here. She has 2 hybrids. She has a 5 and a 4.
Well, it is that mentality. They have a big lead on the rest of the field, but they're almost playing in a completely different tournament. They just have to focus on what's right in front of them. Rose trying to turn this one in a little bit.
Yep.
They've talked about feeding off each other. They've talked about how enjoyable the walk was yesterday, each of them. Another one today. And yeah. Okay.
She was hoping for a soft bounce there. She had a little bit too much draw on that one. Was afraid it might pop out a little left off that green, but stopped softly.
Sagstrom has enjoyed this 8th. This was on Friday. Rainy conditions like today. No problem for Madeline. You need a good friendly hop every now and then off the catkins on the fringe there. And then yesterday, with the sun out, a little breeze blowing, playing with Rose, this put her in front. And again, she hasn't trailed since the second hole yesterday. She's been caught a couple of times, but she leads it by 1. 9.
Par 5 up the hill, and Mao Saigo for a birdie, uphill approach shot, I should say. Just outside of the top 10 right now. Going to be 1 over for the front 9. When the Cognizant Founders Cup first came from Arizona to New Jersey, played at Mountain Ridge Country Club in East Caldwell, and then moved to Upper Montclair, which has a history with the LPGA Tour and has been very supportive of the LPGA over the years. See if Nelly can knock this one in. Just coming off the bogey at number 8.
If it hadn't already ended for Nelly, her bid for a 6th straight, Tom, this one yesterday, this hole may have been where it finally did.
Yeah. I mean, she got unlucky with the mud ball of the tee, but just hit and couldn't get to the green, and then just hit a very poor little pitch shot. It was delicate though. It was close, and that flag, you know, it was like a 55-yard shot, and the flag was tucked over the bunker. It was an awkward length, but she just did not execute. Knocked it in the bunker, made bogey, and then you really felt like it was just not going to be a great day for Nelly. It wasn't her day yesterday.
It was a great day for Sackstrom and Zhang. Sackstrom 66, Zhang 67. A one-shot lead entering the day. It remains one. And once again, Karen, 2 good looks at birdie.
It is on a hole that is not the easiest. And I actually like this position that Madeline's putting from. Even though she's beyond the hole, this putt is actually going to be uphill.
Well, we can add that to that highlight reel package. She loves this hole. It actually looked like it almost hopped a little bit right off the putter face, but I love that scorecard. Look at the way she's bounced back after she admitted she was a bit nervous to start the day. Chunked a chip on the first hole, left of the green, and just mentally has stayed so tough, Karen.
She has, and it is impressive. And I mean, yesterday she was very focused, very in her own little bubble, barely looked at anybody, or just was in her own zone. And so it was a surprise that she had agreed to do the walk and talk with me, because she looked to be so locked in. But the fact that she could come and talk to me and then lock back in is really quite a special talent. But Rose has a chance to match here. This is more awkward. This one's more downhill, and she's got a little edge off the bunker that's going to want to send the ball to the right initially, and then it's going to go back left.
Push right away. Karen, I have to say, Madeline birdied three of 4 holes since she talked to you. Maybe she's ready to do another walk and talk here.
It's the bump. It's the Stupples bump.
And I'm telling you that you had her there in the last year or so where you had several of the winners talking to you on the back 9 Sunday. That's the secret. Find Karen and talk to her. 15.
Minjee Lee on the tee.
I think most players would love the opportunity to talk to Karen, be in the final group on Sunday, and have that walk and talk.
Let's take a look at some recent champions of the Cognizant Founders Cup. Of course, Minjee Lee, victorious here in 2022. We mentioned the switch from Arizona to New Jersey. Jin Young Ko handled it pretty well. She won in 2019 and 2021, 2 different states. Inbee, of course, back in 2018. There's only been one American winner of the Founders Cup, and that was Stacey Lewis 11 years ago. Minjee has played well here over the years, battled last year.
Yep.
Jin Young Ko, the defending champion. Jin Young not quite in top form yet. Still making her way back from injury and settling in to what's going to be a busy summer of golf. On the 9th tee, Sackstrom.
Teeing it up from that right side of the tee box, and looking to hit the fade, and this one's gone way right.
She got a fortunate kick off the tree yesterday on 11, but that one is going to be a forced pitch out to the left. Fortunately, it's a par 5. Might not hurt her too much, but Karen, this has been one of the hardest fairways to hit today.
I can see why. I mean, it really does pinch in. You have the bunkers down the right, and then you've got some rough down the left. And I think none of the players really want to be in the rough, because, I mean, they know how tough and tricky it is. And being a par 5, you want to give yourself the best opportunity you can to make another birdie.
talk about those tee boxes and how they aim you in the wrong place. Look at how far set up left she is here, Rose, compared to where the tee box was aiming her, much further down the right, and that is a beauty. What a way to respond after Madeline's tee shot right there.
Sagstrom 3 under for the day. 2-shot lead here, the final round of the Cognizant Founders Cup. And this putter continuing to work. 4th birdie of the day for the Swede. Only 1 win in her career back in 2020. Will it be 2 come the end of the day here in New Jersey? We will find out. Third shot for Gabby at the 9th. This was just a moment ago. Going to spin back, is it? Yeah. That's an easy birdie. I needed a little bounce back after the missteps at 7 and 8.
Pei-Yun Chen to get 3rd place alone. Go to the last pair.
And going to be a layup here.
It will be. She can't get to the green. She's got 289 to the hole. What a good lie here. Just the slightest of downslopes.
About trying to get it to a comfortable number here. Right up the center, hole location on the right side today, so that'll be a good angle.
Sagstrom, looks like she's got a gap between those trees to knock it back into the fairway.
Yeah. She does.
No, I like this. This is good. As you say, if it goes through the other side, it's all right anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's fine.
The punchy one is good because I can hit that.
Yes.
And then
exactly.
if it goes through, it's fine.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So she's got a decent lie. She's going to keep it low under those tree limbs. Got to carry enough to carry over the thick rough. As you can tell, she's not worried about this going through the other side because it does create a good angle to the flag.
Yeah, very smart play there, Karen. Might just chase through the fairway. Oh, perfect. Absolutely perfect. And that's going to leave her with a good opportunity. She's been really spot on with her wedges, including on this hole yesterday.
10.
But it's just going to stick there. It's not going to come all stick there. If it's white.
Talking about needing to take a little bit more club and flight it and avoid the ball spinning all the way back off the front of the green if she went with a more full swing. So expect more of a 3/4 shot here. And very smart play. Going to be a quick putt from above the hole, but look at how beautiful that tempo was.
That to get back to even par for the day.
Here's Minjee for her birdie. It's not always easy to read around on this green. Playing about middle of the road in terms of difficulty today.
This is Mal Saigo at the 10th.
Talk about tempo. She just has a very efficient swing right there, back and through, about 3/4 each way. Very steady with her lower body. That's a better place to putt from right there.
Back over to the 9th. Gabby Ruffles, you saw that lovely approach, tapped in. So she's out in level par And now the final pairing getting ready to play their third shots to this par 5.
Slight bit there if you look at these flags. Yeah.
Leaning towards the 8. There's room behind this.
Well, if we go,
A little left. If I try to drop something a little right, starting at this circle.
when you start at the circle and then drop to the right, I like this.
Yeah.
Because on that line there's
Because I
another.
don't. 9 is never. 9 should.
No.
It's going to spin up.
But behind that there's another 9, which is 55 on line between the pin and that circle.
Yeah, you like that?
So, yeah, if we start that there and drop it to the right, it's perfect.
So it's 146, and signal looked like it was this was the. Oh, it was the 8 or the 9. I can't really. I think it's the 8.
Based on their conversation, Karen, I think it's the 8. She said that the 9 would spin back too much.
Well, she's looking for a little fade too, looking for it to fall to the right, which would mean that it's falling into the wind a little bit because the wind is off the right, so it will knock a bit of distance off it.
That's exactly how she drew it up. I mean, perfect commitment to that circle that she was aiming at, about 10 or 15 feet left of the flag, a little bit of a fade. And after that, tee shot has a fantastic look at birdie. What a way to recover.
Now Rose.
Just 102. Madeline, is not normally the first one to play into these par 4s because she's normally out driving Rose. So it gave Madeline the opportunity to knock one in there tight. Now Rose is under a little bit of pressure here to respond. This is a gap wedge.
She was too thrilled with that, but we'll still have a good chance for a birdie. And we'll go up 1 to the 10th.
Where Malsaigo missed her birdie attempt, but Nelly Korda has this for birdie, the par 4.
Just very ticklish putt down the hill here.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of been that weekend for Nelly of frustration, not able to get those putts to drop, the ones that we've seen fall time and time again through this incredible stretch she's been on. Just a little bit of wind out of her sails right now.
This is the 11th.
I mean, even if this flies 80 gripping hybrid, if you fly 80, we're okay, right? It's not going to run too far. It lands into. I mean, that at least gives it a chance to fly to the pin, to 72. So just grip it and swing it normal, right? Yeah. Let it fight the wind. All right, good start line here.
Well, you heard it there. Shi Lin. Had a good start to the season, finished tied for 6th at the drive on in Bradenton. Since then, hasn't really been in contention.
I know when I saw her that Monday of drive on, Tom, she looked at me. She was like, that was an exciting day yesterday on Sunday at the Tournament of Champions. I said, yeah, you're going to be there next year, right? And she's like, I hope so. That's my goal. I want to be there.
That's a good goal for Janet Lin, and I think it's going to happen. I think it'll happen this year. Still 2/3 of the season to go. Now, Rose, who already has her place locked up in the Tournament of Champions, Karen.
Yeah, she does. From her win last year. This putt should break a little left, Tom. she could do with this putter really warming up a little bit. It's been a bit cold so far today. Hasn't got anything going.
She spent about an hour on the putting green earlier today before the round, working hard with her dad right there holding the umbrella over her, and maybe not quite comfortable with something this morning. Now Money Chen, Pei Yun Chen, it's a good nickname, that.
Go a little bit.
And we've had some good nicknames today. We've got the Goose, we've got Money, we've got Meow. Now Sagstrom.
This one's going to move to the right. And I like that little move. You know, she stands over it just to make sure that the line matches what she feels when she gets over it.
Oh no, started too far left.
That was the first one where it looked like her putter, the line on her putter did not match up with the line on the ball. It looked like it was further left than where she had originally intended to play it with that line on her putter.
Sagstrom started working on that aim point technique back in 2021, said it changed her life. And this week she says it's really been on. And she feels like she's been very connected with the line, but obviously something didn't quite go right with that birdie putt. Just a 5.
Yeah, Tom, let's take another look at this from behind. We had a great camera angle here. And you can kind of see where the putt that we saw earlier today, they were really lined up. This one, the line on the putter looks to be more left than the line on the ball. And sure enough, ends up missing it high. Sometimes it's like a last minute thing when you're standing over the putt and you feel like it maybe might break a little bit more. Subconscious more than anything.
They make their way to the 10th, which is where Gabby Ruffles is at the moment, her second.
Really want to take advantage of this. One of the easiest holes on the golf course. That nicely left below the hole.
3 birdies, 3 bogeys on the front for Gabby. Good look coming up for birdie at 10. We go to 11.
And Pei Yun Chen, who's had a really solid day today, birdied the first, all pars since. This is a chance to get it to 9 under par, trying to break out of that tie for third. We talked about playing for the bronze medal spot this week at the Founders Cup. That's exactly what these players are doing.
She really has not had a great season so far, Tom. No top 10s. But this would do a lot for her with this Olympic hopes and just all around CME points, getting into a lot of the limited field events towards the end of the season.
Well, neither one of these two have had a drop shot today. May well have learned something from watching Ian Chen. A lot of big events coming up. Next week we stay in New Jersey, the Mizuho Americas Open at Liberty National, so very short distance away. And the tour has a week off before the big one, the US Women's Open, Lancaster Country Club. So this part of the world, just a few hours drive away. Missed opportunity there.
For the players, it's really quite nice, Tom. It doesn't happen all that often when you can just easily drive between events.
Ruffles to join Chen at 9 under. Yeah, she will move to the top of the Rolex Rookie of the Year standings. this continues, she'll move ahead of Jin Hee Im, Korea's Jin Hee. 11.
Nelly's missed the fairway here. Second shot out of the rough. It's not pleasant hitting out of the rough because it's been raining all morning, so it's, oh dear, she did not like that.
I don't know where that was like.
Got just past that tree. Not surprised to see her right after the tee shot she hit here yesterday. Way left.
I don't know what happened there. That was a really odd flight. Maybe it was just a horrible lie.
I mean, the rough is thick. It's wet.
All right. Sagstrom up 1 when the day began, fell back into a tie, but now leading it by 2 as they make the turn.
Yeah.
It's important to hit the fairway here. You have the bunkers on the right that really come into play quite quickly and make the second shot quite difficult. Madeline did have a double bogey on this hole earlier on in the week by going in those bunkers. So you've got to keep those thoughts out of your head.
She ended up leaving one in the bunker, which did lead to that double bogey, but she has just been really solid today. Execution, the one swirly shot off 9T, but has been able to put that out of her mind and just commit, continue to commit.
Karen Rose is 2 under, and yet she's lost ground to Madeline.
Yeah, she has, but I think she ought to really kind of feel like a little new lease on life. I mean, I think Madeline, gifted her a little something back there in the last by not making that birdie putt and going 3 in the lead. So Rose really needs to kind of capitalize right now on this hole. Let's start with a good tee shot, keep it in play.
It's a little bit short up the right there. Did she choose the right club? That'll be just fine.
She was here at the end of last week. Rose was for Media Day for the Mizuho Americas Open. She's trying to go into that title defense with another victory. Well, she's a couple behind Madeline Sagstrom as they begin the back 9. Going to shift over to CNBC at the top of the hour. You can keep it here on Peacock as well as we bring you the final round here of the Cognizant Founders Cup. And this 2-horse race is making the turn here with Rose Zhang 2 back at the 10th.
And this is a 9-iron for Rose from 128. The ball is, it's almost like it's sitting up on a tee in this first cut. The green will kick to the left once it lands on it.
Way to use the slope. You can never really tell from Rose's reaction whether she likes a shot or not. She very often has kind of a one-handed type finish, and her college teammate Rachel Heck said you could never go by her reaction. Kind of like Lexi. You're never really sure.
That's true. And they razz her about that, about how she'll have those reactions. And she was cheering them on this week as they won their regional. In fact, the top 4 players in their regional from Stanford.
Yeah, and congrats to Rachel Heck on her incredible victory.
Coming back from injury. And a good reminder that it was a year ago that Rose was getting ready to defend her NCAA title, and now she's getting ready to defend an LPGA victory. Good shot from Rose, but now Sagstrom a chance to answer.
She's got a love wedge. It's from 99 yards. I think with this club you just take it right at it. Don't need to use the slope on the right at all.
Just a little 3/4 shot to try and eliminate some spin, but just really hard to do. As slopey and as soft as these greens are, is that going to stay there? She's a bit confused with as much as she tried to take off that shot that it still spun back that far.
to 12 as the sun begins to come out. This is the Aussie Steph Kyriakou, who's had a wild week. 66, 79, 66 for Eagle. She had to birdie her last hole Friday just to make the cut, and now she's going to have that for a share of 5th.
It's a par putt for Nelly. We saw that second shot. She was fortunate that it didn't go into the penalty area. It could have hit the tree. And she did have an angle to the hole, but it is going to be a bogey for Korda, and it is a weekend to forget the way things are playing out for Nelly. Now goes to 2 over for the day. Remember, she was over par yesterday for the round.
Hasn't had one of those in a while.
Yeah.
A whole bunch to remember. At 16, Jenny Shin, one of a couple of players to have played in all 13 of the Cognizant Founders Cups.
Gabby's done the hard part here at the 11th. She's found the fairway. %70 of the field hitting the fairway here, but 84% hitting the green. I've misread the computer. My eyes are getting very poor. That's completely wrong. 64% hitting the fairway, 57% hitting the
I
green.
believed you at
yeah,
first. Once
I
you say
had
it
to
on
come
TV,
clean there. It
I just
sounded
assume
right.
it's true.
Yeah.
Here's Pei-Yun Chin, second at the 12th. She is the highest ranked player from Taiwan in the Rolex ranking. She and Wei-Ling Shi would both make the Olympics if it stays as it is, well within that range. Here is Jenny Shin at the 16th. And at the 10th, before Rose Zhang putts for birdie, it's Madeline Sackstrom.
This one's uphill, and I think you can really be quite aggressive with this one.
Almost looked like she pulled that just a fraction off of her putter face. She might be right in Rose's line here. But Karen, after that miss putt from Madeline on the last, Rose now really has a chance to get right back in this.
And I think this really is the moment for Rose to do that. I always feel like in these situations, I mean, I know Madeline said it's not, you know, she doesn't see it as match play. I think most of us out here watching and people watching at home kind of do get the feeling that it is a bit like match play. I always think that if the person you're playing against kind of misses a shortish putt and gives you that little glimmer of hope, I think that the very next hole is the absolute perfect time to go ahead and take one of your own.
I'd love to see Rose a little bit less technical over these putts. She just seems really, really focused on the ball and what's happening in and around the ball, as opposed to reacting more to her target. She seemed a little bit freer with her stroke the first few days, and that's kind of what happens under pressure. Everything gets just a little bit tighter.
Roning Yin for a birdie at 15. Oh, yeah. It gets it to 4 under par. Battling for the best round of the day and 3 twos. And then Grant finished with 67 earlier today, as did Yu Jin Song, playing in some of the worst weather.
First out this morning before
Amazing.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
She needed it. Sackstrom needs this for par. Okay. Lead remains 2. She said it's not like match play. It was last fall. Match play and team play. Solheim Cup. Sagstrom and Zhang squared off twice in 4-ball matches. They tied one. Sagstrom and Europe won the other. Here, they head to the 11th with Sagstrom up by 2. And a reminder, coming up at the top of the hour, you can watch it on CNBC. That's right. Nelly 2 over. Began the day, began the weekend, 4 back. There's the 67 from Yu-Jin Sung, the rookie. It's the final round of the Cognizant Founders Cup, where the smart money this week was on Nelly Korda. 5 straight victories, looking for a record-setting 6th. Past performance doesn't always guarantee future results, and you've got 2 players battling at the top. Grant Boone, Morgan Pressel watching Madeline Sagstrom after a bogey at the first. This for birdie at 2.
Madeline's made over 350 feet of putts at this point in the tournament. That club on fire.
Began the day 1 shot ahead of Rose Zhang, and then no one else even within 10. This was Zhang, second at 4.
It's quite a remarkable leaderboard. Rose from a bit of a hanging lie there on 4, taking advantage of the soft conditions.
Tap in to go to 19 under and ties Sagstrom, but on the very next hole, Sagstrom second at the 5th.
Each of them doing their very best to put pressure on their opponents. Really only have to pay attention to it, who's right in front of them.
So how would Rose respond? Like this.
It's a bit of a anything you can do, I can do better sort of a theme here so far on Sunday.
All those plot twists, dynamite golf. Sagstrom and Zhang both with birdies, and then at the 6th, Sagstrom's tee shot.
Yeah, beautifully using the backstop here. Really have to control your spin today with these soft greens. A lot of rain fell earlier this morning.
Lead to a birdie and the lead. And then at the 8th, Rose was inside of her, but this was Sagstrom first. And Sagstrom looking for her first victory in more than 4 years on the LPGA Tour. Zhang right back here in the Garden State, where she won nearly 1 year ago. Look at the gap between these two. A 2-horse race in Jersey on Sunday. NBC Sports and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Clifton, New Jersey, it's final round coverage of the Cognizant Founders Cup. Yeah, if you know it in one glimpse, it's legendary. That number 13, those founders who created the LPGA Tour, nurtured it all these years, 75 years later. And on this Mother's Day, they've come out from across the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area, braving the elements, sun beginning to peek out now. And we're going to watch a duel perhaps in the sun. It's not just about golf. It's just a game. Really, it's about what happens off the course as well. We're remembering those founders, players acting like it. Morgan and I are joined by Tom Abbott, and out on the golf course, Karen Stupples. Final pair is at the par for 11th, and we say good afternoon to Tom.
Yeah, it's going to be a good battle between these 2 players, and we will see who comes out on top. Sagstrom trying to win for the 2nd time. This is her 2nd to the 11th.
And she's got an 8-iron out. Rose has already hit hers. She punched a 5 hybrid out of some rough on the left onto the green.
Green's very receptive after the rain earlier today. Karen, of course, out following that final pairing, but let's set the scene for the day. Check in with Morgan and Grant.
And a happy Mother's Day to all those who are here and the ones who have gone on before us. So glad to have you with us here from Clifton, New Jersey. And Morgan, we mentioned a duel in the sun. You think about Jack Nicklaus and Tom Watson back in '77 at Turnberry. But that wasn't that big of a lead going into the final round. It was a massive lead for Madeline and Rose. Madeline said she doesn't want to treat it like match play, but in a way that's what it is, isn't it?
This is a remarkable leaderboard, something that we've really never seen before. And these two look like they're playing a different golf course. Their execution level has been spectacular, and not just tee to green, but also the feet of putts that these two have rolled in. Well over 600 feet of putts for both of them coming into the day. I mean, it's just really remarkable, and they continue to do it today. They really have put pressure on each other. Rose told her longtime coach she didn't really see this coming into this week, this performance, but she worked really hard last week after being frustrated on the greens out at Palos Verdes. And then Madeline told me yesterday on the range, I love this golf course. This is my course. And she's had tremendous success here as well. 2 top 10s in the previous 2 events here. So not surprised to see Madeline certainly on the top of the leaderboard, very much in control. She loves it here.
And of course, the story coming into the week was Nelly Korda trying to win a 6th straight. Nelly was 4 back going into the weekend, but for the first time since January, she's not going to win on the LPGA Tour. How about the weekend for Nelly?
Yeah, she just hasn't quite been able to put it all together. Certainly yesterday we saw her golf swing kind of let her down a little bit more than we had, put a lot of pressure on this part of her game, her putting, and just it happens. Every streak at the end of the day will come to an end at some point. Unfortunately for Nelly, it is here this week, but still a tremendous showing to put herself here, still in contention even through 2 days.
Yeah. Back we go to the 11th, Tom.
I think it's going to be Sagstrom to go first here, Karen.
It will be. Both hit really good shots. I think this whole location today on this 11th hole is quite amenable to quality shots in. I think Rose was quite lucky with the lie she got in the rough that she could advance it so well. Madeline, her 8-iron was just another quality strike, but it's left her a downhill putt. And I'd say something to look out for too is Madeline trying to hit fades off tees, and she's ending up in the right side of the fairway a lot of times. And when you end up in the right side of the fairway, it's typically down grain, so you're going to get shots that are going to come off the turf really cleanly, really crisply, with lots of spin. And we've certainly seen a lot of that from her today.
These are some of the putts that have impressed me the most. These downhill left to right putts. She's really done a good job keeping them on line.
Oh my goodness, talk about keeping it on the high side of the hole.
How in the world did that not catch that high side? What a good looking roll. And again, another beautiful stroke. And that's all she can do is walk away and laugh. I couldn't hit a better putt than that. And it just didn't go in. Look at this. Oh my goodness.
Can't believe it. Now Rose for her birdie.
And this one's also downhill, Tom. And Rose has had a couple of opportunities to encroach into Madeline's lead, but hasn't been able to take them yet.
Not taking advantage of that one either. So Rose is going to stay a couple of shots back. Just her 7th start on the LPGA Tour this season. Obviously studies at Stanford first part of the year, and now can concentrate fully on professional golf before resuming studies later as kind of a part-time university student. To 12.
Nelly 2 over for the day. This for birdie. .66 Friday. Thought might have caught lightning in a bottle. Gone again Saturday with a bogey at the first. Not going to happen for Nelly. It's going to for either Madeline or Rose. What a battle we've got.
Hello, I'm Ravi Kumar, the Chief Executive Officer of Cognizant. I'm super excited to welcome you to the 4th annual Cognizant Founders Cup. As a Fortune 200 company and global technology services leader, Cognizant is dedicated to creating a culture of diversity, inclusion across our organization of 345,000 plus associates. That's why we love partnering with the LPGA. Because like the LPGA, we're committed to breaking barriers for women in technology and in sports. Thank you to the LPGA, Girls Golf, the Upper Montclair Country Club, and all the players, volunteers, and fans who make this great tournament possible and such a success. I hope you have a great event. We'll be watching. Thank you.
To 12, and the par 5 is where we find our final pair. Madeline Sagstrom leading by 2.
And yesterday she hit a tee shot quite a long ways left. A little bit of a double cross with the swing that she was trying to make. She does like that little fade right now, and I think it's a shot that's really stood her in good stead on this golf course. Very little wind out here right now.
Karen, her coach Hans Larsen is out with her this week. He said when he watched her play in practice on Monday that she was drawing the ball a bit more than he would have liked, so they spent a lot of time hitting little fades. You saw she was set up well on the right side of that tee box. She's been hitting on the very far right side of the range to help her visualize that fade.
I'd say she pounded that one. Rose predominantly hits more of a draw. But she can be quite sneaky with getting the ball out there with roll, but the conditions today, the fairways are so wet, that's kind of really been hindering her distance-wise.
Rose doesn't have quite as neutral of a swing path as Madeline does. She comes a little bit more to the inside of the ball, leading to that more draw bias golf swing.
Nothing acerbic between these two all weekend. They've just had a blast playing together, kind of cheering each other on, feeding off one another. Up ahead at that 12th, the third for Gabby Ruffles, the Aussie. Chance to move ahead in the Rookie of the Year standings. It's time now for our Volunteers of America tournament summary. Here is Tom Allen.
Well, Grant, the U.S. Women's Open is beckoning, just a few weeks away, and players have been booking their places at Lancaster Country Club. Gabby Ruffles topped the qualifier in Fresno on Monday. Lucy Lee, who was the youngest to ever qualify when she made it to Pinehurst in 2014 as an 11-year-old, won her qualifier last week. Tour winner Mario Jutanagan, in-form Emily Pedersen, and rookie Isabella Fierro among those surviving the 36-hole one-day tests. Looking ahead to the AIG Women's Open at the Old Course in St Andrews, the R&A have reopened their famous clubhouse after its first renovation in 100 years. As part of the changes, the women's locker room has been enhanced and will be used by the players for this year's championship. Staying in Scotland, it has been announced that the Women's Scottish Open will be at Dundonald this year. It will be the third consecutive year that the Ayrshire Lynx has hosted that event. Grant?
Tom, thank you. Second time that Gabby has been a medalist at U.S. Women's Open qualifying. Here is Carlota Segunda at the 15th. She's fired up. Five under par, tied for 18th.
So the 13th. Now Saigo with her second. Well, she was trying to put a little low one in there.
Bounce something up that false front there, Tom. Trying to run through the green, though.
Well, too bad. Maybe chip that in. Playing alongside Nelly Korda today. Nelly has missed the fairway in the thick rough again on the right side.
It's just really been her ball striking, Tom, that is usually the strength of her game. Just some squirrely tee shots. Found herself really struggling on this golf course that you really have to be precise off the tee.
Penultimate pairing, Se Young Kim. See that 31 on her hat? The all-time LPGA record that she set, 31 under par. How about that? In Wisconsin. I don't think Sackstrom's going to get to 31 or Rose, but what a performance these two have put on. And again, when you look at what they've done in relation to the rest of the field, I'm thinking about Gabby Ruffels' family sport and Nelly Korda's family's other sport. In tennis, you're always against an opponent. Nelly is actually tied for 7th as she tries to win her 6th straight. So she's 15 shots back, but it's not just what you do in golf, of course. It's what the others are doing. And this week, Sackstrom and Zhang have been sublime.
If you look at the scoring average for the field as a whole, it's a half stroke over par for the week. Just putting into perspective what Madeline and Rose have been able to accomplish out here.
It's a great point. When Se Young set that record at 31 under, that was on a golf course that everyone took apart up there in Wisconsin. Shan Shan shot 29 under there one year. But a very different story. So it's a big opportunity for Rose Zhang. With the most recent Rolex rankings on Monday, Allison Lee dropped out. You can have as many as 4 as long as you're in the top 15. But Rose at number 22 figures to move up. Well, she's going to move up. The question is how much, and a victory could move her into the top 15 and give her a chance to represent the United States in Paris.
For me, if you're favouring the side, just favour that right half a little bit. Yeah, 3 was perfect. Come on, mate, nice and clear, yeah.
Rose is 211 to the hole, 189 to the front. It's a little bit into the breeze here. It was this yardage yesterday that she chose to lay up, but in these circumstances, when you're 2 shots back, you really have to bring the heat today. This is a 3-wood.
I like this aggressive play, Karen.
She had to.
At this point, 2 back, knowing that Madeline is in prime position, and a beautiful golf swing.
You knew the price going in. But, pays off for Rose. Tom, we still have some earmuffs.
Yeah, this is the 31-year-old from Bangkok, Johnny Mijai, who doesn't love the cold conditions, so trying to stay warm out there, but her golf's pretty good today in these tough conditions. Gets her to 3 under for the round. She is looking for her best finish of the season.
It was an eagle here on Friday. It was a big part of Madeline Sackstrom's comeback from a double bogey. Here she is now, Karen.
And she's got a 4 hybrid out. It's 194 to the hole. She gets plenty of height on this. Oh my goodness, this is sky high. A little bit right of the hole.
Very high. Even her laughing about how high that went, higher maybe than she was expecting. She got just slightly underneath it.
Nelly battling back, trying to get it back to level par. Oh my goodness. Only player in the top 16 who's over par for the day, Nelly. Hard to believe with the way that she has played, but all good things have to come to an end, and that run of consecutive wins is going to come to an end here in New Jersey, but it's still going to be a fine performance from Nelly inside the top 7.
Today's coverage is brought to you by Cognizant, helping businesses anticipate and act as if on intuition. By CME Group, where risk meets opportunity. And by Skechers, try hands-free Go Golf Skechers slip-ins. Just step in without bending down. Eagle putts at the 12th, Sackstrom first.
She's talked about how she has felt so dialed in this week. Very much in sync was her quote with the speed. That one a little bit heavy-handed.
Take a look at our insights by KPMG for Rose. Putts made over 10 feet. None today. She talked about losing her putter last summer and how it really impacted her mentally. She thinks she's got one here that she can go with. And Karen, it's been great all week.
It's amazing what a difference a putter and how it looks and feels when you're standing over it can make to your mental approach. She knew as soon as she hit that one that she didn't like it.
Yeah, I just think, Karen, she's looked far too mechanical over the putts today compared to how she's looked the first few days, and she's standing over the ball without really looking at the hole, looking very much focused on the ball. She's been working on trying to keep the putter in motion a little bit better back and through. I don't know, she just looks very mechanical to me today.
I think, Morgan, under pressure you kind of always fall back to what you're used to. And if we think back to last year, she was quite methodical with how she would approach gauging the distance of the stroke. Like she would kind of mark off how far back she would take the putter. And I think, you know, when the pressure's on, you kind of revert back to a little bit of that thinking. She's not doing the same stuff, but the mindset might still be similar.
Sackstrom in. What's the old saying? Old habits die screaming. So, don't know. Maybe Rose can find something here. 1,500 plus days since that one and only victory down in South Florida. She held off Nasa Hataoka late. Oh, Rose, you just watched it happen. A birdie from Madeline. Now you've got to make this just to keep pace.
I don't think there's too much in this.
Wow. Shocker.
That's a huge blow to the psyche as well, considering she hasn't really seen anything go in from more than about 5 or 6 feet today.
Each of them has missed a short birdie putt on a par 5. Madeline at the 9th, now Rose at the 12th. Finishing up at 18, but a nice day for former #1 in the world, Roning Yen, who won just down the road from here at Baltusrol last summer at the KPMG Women's PGA. And that for a 68. Go ahead and give it to her. And she'll be there in Paris, as will we. And points west for the Olympic Games, July 26th on NBC and Peacock. Golf competition beginning August 1st, the men first, and then the women. Sailing down the Seine. And a 3-shot lead with 6 holes to go, Tom. That was a stunner.
Well, we've still got 6 holes to go. Anything can really happen here, and we know that both of these players have won on the tour. Only 1 victory each, but I think there'll be plenty more to come for Rose over the coming years as we take a look at this tee shot with our Top Tracer technology presented by Progressive Insurance. And there probably should have been more for Sagström in her career. I think she's a much better player than just having that 1 victory on the resume, and she's showing what she can do this week, Karen.
Well, it's just a huge amount of talent, and I think that, you know, Morgan has well documented that she overthinks things. She gets in her own way a little bit, and I mean, and she's proving to us now what can happen when she doesn't do that.
Tried to get that to cut back into the fairway. It was very close. She drove one down the left side earlier in the week and drove it past the tree, so she didn't have any tree trouble. We'll just have to see if that one was past the tree there, Karen, as we watch Rose.
I think Rose really has to kind of pick herself up, dust herself off right now, and really kind of get back to work. It's like, okay, let's hit some quality shots, get the ball a little closer to the hole, give myself some more good looks, and then trust my reads. Just trust the stroke. Just be aggressive with this, because she's got to make something happen right now.
Drawing back enough. Yes, it's going to be just fine there. Mother's Day today, and we've got plenty of kids and their mums out enjoying the day. Family day here at the Cognizant Founders Cup. You love to see it.
Third shot for Nelly Korda at the 14th.
A location in the narrowest part of the green. 13 paces on, only about 8 paces wide here with the wedge. Not an issue for Nelly.
Push the reset button next week at the Mizuho Americas Open. Nelly will be there leading a strong field. 13.
As we look back down the fairway, it's going to be Rose to play first.
It's just 185 to the hole. I'm going to hybrid out. I'm just waiting on Ollie, her caddy, to give a signal, but I think that's going to be the 5 hybrid. Was the signal? A little bit of helping wind here. It's so light, though. I mean, you couldn't ask for better conditions right now to play golf.
Safe, middle of the green. Difficult holes over the last 3 here, 16 being very tricky, so there's still a chance this could go all the way down to the wire. 3 shots is a nice lead, but certainly a lot can change here. Sagström second.
She's going to try and punch something out from this rough. It's not a bad lie. Trees do overhang just a little bit, but I don't think that's going to bother her too much at all. I think she can keep it under those with a natural ball flight.
Yeah. It's like she's playing a video game at the moment. Wonderful goal from Madeline Sagström. A 3-shot lead here at the Cognizant Founders Cup. Back out at the 13th, and Rose Zhang for the birdie. Oh, she had the line by the looks of things.
Just a moment ago, Nelly Korda for birdie at the 14th. That kind of a weekend for Nelly. 13.
Sagstrom with a good chance here, Karen, to get it to 24 under par.
I mean, that's some remarkable golf, Tom. You know, just when you think about the conditions that these players have had to play, and you look at the golf course too. I mean, it's tight. There's thick rough. There's deep bunkers. I mean, there's a lot of trouble out here, and Madeline has just been above all of that. He's just playing some absolutely fabulous golf, and I mean, and Rose too. I mean, you can't take anything away from her. And she's been playing great as well. But
so it's going to be a 3-shot lead for Madeline Sagstrom. On the course, there's always been talent to spare. A talented junior in Sweden, collegiate star at LSU, Epson Tour Player of the Year, a Solheim Cup participant as a rookie. Then in 2020, she became an LPGA winner. But off the course, she had a secret that she felt was holding her back. And so in 2021, Madeline Sagstrom bravely shared it with the world, powerfully and poignantly.
I remember sitting in a hotel room, and I couldn't stop crying. I was so focused on preparing for the upcoming season. But I felt like I couldn't keep the secret inside of me anymore. I needed to tell someone what I've kept to myself for 16 years.
For Madeline Sagstrom, revealing her secret meant confronting her past and reliving the pain she suffered on the most traumatizing day of her life.
It's one of those things I was just trying to like shovel under the rug and just like, no, that probably didn't happen.
Sagstrom grew up in Enköping, Sweden, a countryside city an hour from Stockholm. One day as a young girl, she visited a family friend's house. She was just 7 years old.
I was by myself when I was going over to see my friend, a man that I was really close to. And it was one of those things to just like come in, hang out, nothing weird, nothing wrong, and he ended up sexually abusing me. I went home and I acted like nothing ever happened for 16 years. I think the biggest reason why I didn't tell anybody, I think mostly shame. Like I should have known better.
Scarred by her past, Sagstrom used golf to move forward. She became a Swedish junior champion, an NCAA All-American, and a member of the Symetra Tour in 2016.
I got really, really absorbed in golf, so I think that was kind of my savior in a sense. Like I could really immerse myself in this world where when I played well, I was okay. And I really did not like who I was. I mean, I couldn't even put body lotion on my legs because I hated my body so much due to what somebody else did to me.
In 2016, Sagstrom's coach, former European Ryder Cup player Robert Karlsson, noticed that she struggled to control her emotions on the golf course.
The thing that I know as a golfer and as any human being, when we're on the first tee, yes, we are the golfer, but you can't leave the person behind.
He was really pushing me on, okay, dig deeper, and like, why do you think you react to this way on the golf course? And I had this thing come up in my mind. I was like, I don't think that's important. I'll just put that on the side. But it kept coming up, and I was like, maybe there is something there. Maybe I should tell him. So one day I did tell him, I was like, I have this thing from when I was a child. Don't think it matters very much, but maybe. So I told him, and he looked at me, and I literally just bursted into tears. When I sat there, I'm like, this was important. This was a massive step.
It was kind of, that was what it was. I could see it was a relief for her to talk about it. I mean, it was a strong emotional thing for me. Yes, she trusted me.
I think that he just felt that pain for me. He understood the pain that I've been carrying for so many years. I felt like nothing I will ever say from now on is gonna matter. Like, I've said the worst thing I can say, and I just felt like so free.
In her rookie season on the Symetra Tour, Sägström set a record for single-season earnings and secured her LPGA Tour card.
It's part of the thing that people don't see about my career. I had a really good 2016 because I wasn't hiding anymore. Being able to share my story with Robert and tell my secret just opened up all the doors for me. I was on cloud 9, I was flying, nothing could stop me at that point.
She proved to herself that I got nothing to fear, feel ashamed of, or that I need to hide. And it definitely took her on a different path in life, which is more stable in herself and more accepting of herself.
I think the Madeline that went into the hotel room was scared. She didn't really know who she was. But when she left, she was stronger than she'd ever been. And that has been a big step for me. None of us are alone. To talk with someone about sexual abuse, call the National Sexual Assault Hotline.
That drive-on piece beautifully done and well told by our colleague Amy Rogers. And on this week in which the mantra "Act like a founder" is at the forefront, Madeline, now 31 years old and a bride-to-be in September, embodies the kind of courage, perseverance, and really generosity to share her story that I think would make the women who created this tour and the pioneers who followed stand and cheer.
Incredibly powerful story that she shared. Very brave, and I think about how she feels in this moment, walking up this back nine with everything that she has been through in her life and persevered through it all.
Yeah, it's about more than just the game. Gabby Ruffles up ahead at that par 5, 14th. This is a player who really didn't even start playing golf until she was 15 years old, just a few years ago, and now she is a world-class player and about to take over the lead in the Rolex Rookie of the Year standings to 17.
Here's Natalia Guseva. Played collegiate golf at the University of Miami. That's just a moment ago. It's a good line here from the Goose. Oh, could go in! Oh my word! What a shot. It actually looked to her like it had gone in. It's going to be a tap-in birdie, get her to 5 under par.
Back at the 14th, 3 back, Rose Zhang.
This is just a layup. It's 261 to get to the hole. Not worth doing anything from here, but lay it up and try and put yourself in a really good spot. Those cross bunkers really do come into play heavily for these players.
And it really does put everything into perspective when you see that piece there on Madeline, and then go back to her in the 14th fairway, and it is just a game.
Like that? Yeah.
Karen, I've also been struck at the way that Madeline has been very forthright, speaking about some things that she's worked on. She talked about how at times that she's gotten in her own way. She wanted to, what was the term she used? Not try as hard. She wants it, but wants to not quite squeeze too hard on Sundays.
But isn't that's the hardest thing in golf to do?
Yes.
Because the tendency is, oh, if I just work harder, if I just try more, if I just put forth more effort, then the results will come. But more often than not, it's just a question of being able to relax and letting it happen. And sensible layup, no point in doing anything crazy there with a 3-shot lead.
Future is bright, dazzling in fact, for Madeline, up 3. Third shot for Sägström at the 14th.
Just trying to control a little shot in here from 79 yards.
She just needs to keep hitting fairways and greens. Talk about staying in her bubble, in the bubble of an athlete, being more reactive and a lot less thinking. Rose seems to be on the other side, Karen, thinking a little bit too much today.
Yeah, it's hard not to think about it, but you have to find a way to stay in that process. This is Lobridge.
Her game plan was to commit. That was what she was looking to do into today.
So birdie putts coming up for the final pair with Sägström in control. At the 14th, Madeline Sägström first for birdie.
This is down, moving left.
She's just doing exactly what she needs to do. Fairways, greens, 4 more holes of that, and she could very well find herself the champion.
It's been hard to win on the LPGA Tour for everyone other than Nelly Korda. This is just going to be the second event that she's played that she hasn't won. Well, the time is now for Rose. This for birdie to get within 2.
It really is, and 2 is a lot better than 3. Just one step closer.
Curls it in, and Rose never quite buried. 3 back at one point, but now just 2 down with 4 to go. She won a thriller with Jennifer Kupcho just down the road at Liberty National.
That was a huge putt right there for Rose, for her confidence, everything. And it's back to being a ball game here, Karen.
It is, and it just goes to show you that you can't take anything for granted. And just imagine how things would be if she had made that putt on the 12th as well.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
All right, so a par for Sägström. Her lead is 2 as they head to 15.
Michelle Wie is golf's new wonder kid.
She drives the ball farther than some of the biggest names in men's golf.
I wanted to be rule number 1, go to the Masters, beat Tiger. I just wanted to prove that women belong.
Dream big. The Michelle Wie story debuts this coming Saturday, May 18th on NBC at 2 p.m. Eastern and available on Peacock the following day. And speaking of Michelle on NBC, she's going to be with Jimmy Fallon tomorrow night on The Tonight Show.
In the city.
So tune in.
Oh, that'd be great. Looking forward to that. And she will be with us next week at the Mizuho Americas Open as the host there with the AJGA girls playing alongside the LPGA players. Rose on the tee at 15. She's the defending champion.
This is a high draw. A little bit left of the hole.
Yeah, good shot there. Okay, that puts a bit of pressure on Sägström.
Nelly for birdie at 16. And 15 again.
Sagstrom's tee shot here and see how she will respond. Sun shining now.
Yeah, it's turned out to be quite pleasant now, Tom.
Yeah, the forecast had it improving. We'll have our Top Tracer technology presented by Progressive Insurance for Madeline's tee shot here at the par 3.
Madeline's got a 7-iron out. Yeah. And it's quite an inviting hole location today. Right in the middle of the green there, and looks like there's plenty of room for this shot.
She set up very square to this one, Karen. Typically, she likes to set up a little bit more open.
Trying to work back towards the hole.
It's just going to settle up there. Downhill putt for Sagstrom with that really high ball flight. 2-shot lead for the Swede.
Today's coverage is brought to you by Cognizant, helping businesses anticipate and act as if on intuition. And by Win Grips, the best grips in golf.
Back to the 15th, and Sagstrom trying to get one to fall ahead of Rose Zhang, who has a very good look at birdie.
Yeah, she does. Rose is, what, about 6-7 feet away from the hole, so you know, if you've had a good 3-shot lead, you don't really want to see it dwindle back down to 1.
Down the hill, trying to wander back, but it's going to be a 3. Couldn't be too aggressive with that one, could she, Karen?
No, it was going to be very quick down the hill, and there's no need to cause yourself too much stress by having a 4-footer coming back.
This is the 16th, and it's Gabby Ruffles holding down 3rd alone, her 2nd here. Morgan, it's quite the battle for a 3rd place. Has been really all weekend.
Big putt here. This is to get within 1 of the lead for Zhang.
It is, because anything can happen on the next few holes. And this has been the range that she's been so good this week from. Just hasn't got the job done today yet, though. Oh, no problem.
Right in the middle. 1 behind. And they will head to the very difficult 16th, and this is some battle.
Been really impressed by the way that Rose has rebounded after that shocking missed putt on the 12th. And, you know, maybe almost a little bit of a fire for her. Said, hey, I have to turn this around to get myself right back in it. What a couple of birdies she has made.
Just a moment to go at the 17th. Nelly Corder's tee shot. Got that knob in the middle of the green. Have to get it on the correct side. That's flying it all the way to the back. Should take more of the undulation out of it being at the back of the green.
At the 16th, Ruffles for birdie. And back on the tee at this 16th, 2 back. What, about 20 minutes ago, and now just 1 behind Rose Zhang, making a big final push.
And this is one of the toughest driving holes on this golf course. Fairway pinches in about 18 yards wide at its narrowest point. You've got bunkers left, bunkers right. Easy to get blocked out down the right side as well.
And those left bunkers are not Depending on where she is, she may be forced to lay up from that bunker. How close she gets to that lip. Only about 50% of the field hitting this fairway all week. It is the tightest one on the golf course.
Nearly aiming way left. Big swing left to right. Wow, that was a tricky putt there. There's a lot of movement in that 17th green. And that center hump in the middle of the green makes it very tricky.
With Zhang indeed in that bunker left, here is Sägström up 1.
Now Madeline can carry the bunkers on the right. That's not a problem for her. With the helping wind and with her little fade, this tee shot suits her a lot more than it suits Rose.
She hit a huge tee shot here yesterday, Karen, cutting off the dog leg over those right bunkers, set up to play a fade off the left side.
And this is a little bit more down the left, but over the trouble.
It looks like the lie isn't too thick there either. It's a much better spot than being in that bunker.
Back-to-back birdies for Rose Zhang to get within 1, but an errant tee shot at 16. We'll check out the line, what she has in front of her in a moment.
Today's coverage is brought to you by Cognizant, helping businesses anticipate and act as if on intuition. And by Volunteers of America, dedicated to building healthy communities through health, housing, and human services. Give at VOA.org.
Rose Zhang, back-to-back birdies, but she's missed the fairway at the 16th. And what does she have, Karen?
Well, I think she has a chance. She's the little bit of lip in front of her is not too bad. She has a 6-iron out, and I know I've seen Rose play some absolutely magical fairway bunker shots before, where she gets a whole ton of height on it. She's going to need a bit of that for this 6-iron here.
I was having deja vu to when she won at Liberty National last year in the playoff.
This is fantastic.
Oh, yes.
That is just spectacular. And you called it, Karen. This is, I don't, maybe isn't the highest lip in the world, but it's still staring her right in the face. And to get so much height, get it up over that lip and carry it all the way to the green over that false front. Just perfect contact.
And now back to Sägström.
And she's got a good lie. She's managed to find a little lower height of grass in those rough. 147, got a 9-iron out. Looks good.
She asked for it just to sit down. That's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll be a quick putt anytime you're above the hole on these greens, but from where she was, just wasn't able to get quite enough spin on that ball.
17.
Gabby Ruffles. It's been a very good week for her. You take 2 players out of the field and she'd be leading by 1. This one on an aggressive line, but getting caught up in that bunker.
And up at the 18th, Taiwan's Peiyun Chen, her second.
Not much space beyond the flag, begging for it to get down, but that'll be just fine. Good opportunity there to post it 9 under par.
We got Ruffles struggling a bit at the 17th, so that could be a big switch.
And it didn't fall down into the bunker. It actually got caught up in the thick rough on the edge of the sand. So going to very much depend on the lie here for Gabby Ruffles. If it was lying on that fringe grass, you'd say she might be thinking about chipping it in, but from the thick grass makes things a bit more difficult.
Yeah, she at least has a level lie with her stance. I think back to the chip that we saw Rose have to start her round on 1. The bases of these bunkers can be very steep. What a shot.
Yeah, really good there. So Gabby will stay at 9 under par, solo third.
Shiyu Lin at the 18th. Chance to get to 8 under. And she just keeps playing at a really high level. She's 13th in the Rolex ranking. She's been inside the top 10. She'll have to wait another week for that elusive first victory. If she gets one, wouldn't be shocked if another one came quickly after. Sagstrom with her third at 16.
She's got the wedge out, so I think this is one of those situations where the ball's sitting down enough in that first cut that if you take the putter out, it's going to jump and bobble, and it's very unpredictable. This way with this club, she has a much better chance of making this shot.
She's a very simple chipping motion, straight back, straight through. Just came out on a fluffy on her there a little bit, Karen. Maybe it could have been an opportunity to blade the shot if she felt like it was sitting down just a little bit too much. But judging by the way that it came out fluffy, it might not have been sitting down all that much at all.
Peiyun Chen at the 18th for birdie to tie Ruffles at 9 under. This is going to be a big week for her. She'll move from 69th in the race to the Semi Globe inside the top 50. Well, a chance here for Rose. Not just her own birdie putt, but Madeline with a lengthy putt for par.
It is, and this is I mean, we talk about match play situations, and this is just a classic one here. Madeline's still got a lengthy putt for a par, so there's no guarantee she's going to make it. That doesn't mean to say that Rose should back off on this one. I think she needs to go ahead and make this one. Just assume that Madeline's going to make hers.
Yeah, that is very much match play mentality. Doesn't quite get it to the hole. Just a fraction tentative.
Given where she was off the tee, 4 a good score, and now Madeline will have this for par to stay in front as they head to the 17th. And I'm trying to think, Karen, since the first hole when Madeline admittedly chunked her pitch shot and made bogey, I can't remember a time she's really even struggled to make par.
No, she had a couple of occasions yesterday in a round where she had to, produce some really great saves and putts that were of about this length to save that par. But you're right. This is a slightly different moment right now. Rose has the momentum, and Madeline is just, like a duck on water. You look calm on the outside, but underneath there's a lot going on inside. Because you can really feel that intensity when you're in this moment. You know that it's just you and Rose. You can't hide from a leaderboard because it's right in front of you. So you know exactly where you stand.
And we are tied. Incredible. A 3-shot lead just about 30 minutes ago. But with 2 holes to go to tie at the top.
Very costly bogey. They're only the second green. The first green there, her first bogey, and that green, the only 2 greens that she's missed all day today. She's leading the field in greens and regulation, and that could not have come at a worse time for Madeline right there. Now really time to refocus mentally, not overthink that, and refocus.
Third shot for Nelly Korda. Just cannot overstate what it is that she has done. 5 straight wins. It's happened only twice in the 75 years of the LPGA until Nelly did it. Began the week at the Met Gala, putting the LPGA front and center in the spotlight on the red carpet, as she's done on the course as well. And hats off to Nelly. Tom, 17.
I mean, it's so rare that two players are so far ahead of the rest of the field. I mean, you think back to Royal Troon in the Open in 2016, Stenson and Mickelson, and they went head to head and just ran away from the rest of the field. Stenson ended up winning by 3, and then there was an 11-shot gap between Mickelson and J.B. Holmes, who finished 3rd that week. This is a similar sort of situation here, where you have 13 shots between the leaders and the player in 3rd place, and that is with Sagström dropping a shot at the 16th. So these two both have played well enough to win, no doubt about it, but only one of them can take the title, and it is going to be close here. And this is not the easiest of par 3s today, Karen, where they've placed the flag on the right side of the green.
No, it's not, especially if you're Rose who likes to hit a draw. It means you have to, if you want to get it close, you have to challenge that flag with your start line. And of course, if you don't get that draw, that bunker comes into play quite quickly. So, I mean, the way she's been playing these last few holes, I mean, the line should be just a little bit left of the flag, and then take whatever putt you can get.
Tight line, that.
She's challenging it.
Oh, look at this from Rose. That was somebody who has tunnel vision for the flag.
That was exceptional right there, Tom. You said it gets a little close for comfort to this tree on the right here.
Yeah, I was out there looking, and I think they have to move oh, look at that finish. I think they have to move the tee boxes forward like they have with that hole location because of those trees. I think if it was back, Karen, you couldn't go at this hole location. That really was close to those trees, and what a shot in the end. How is Sagström going to respond?
Well, the shot should suit her right on, but no doubt she's feeling the moment right now, because her 3-shot lead has vanished, and Rose has just hit one in tight. It's hard to fight that momentum.
So she's aiming into the middle of the green.
It says this one is fading. This is a tight line too.
Yeah, going to work it back towards the hole, and worked it too much. Too much. You saw exactly there from the tracer what she was trying to do, and she overdid it.
She only missed 1 green through the first 15 holes, and then here 16 and 17 at the moment when Rose put all the pressure on her there.
Nelly for par at the 18th. All right. In the blink of a crinkling eye, 3-shot lead is a tie game.
Back with Sagström's bunker shot here.
Well below the green surface, this bunker is very deep. It's going to land on the downslope once it hits the green.
Yeah, that was about as good as she could have done from there. The very wet sand. Number 1 was not to be too cute and try and get it too close. Leave it in that rough. And she's got the face wide open here. Look at how deep this bunker is. It's hard to tell just how high she had to get that up. And with the wet sand, as much rain has fallen, really hard to get enough spin on it, Karen, to get it to stop close to that hole.
It was just really difficult. I mean, she did go up onto the green, and she did aim point the green between the edge of the green and the hole. That way she was going to give it the best chance of hitting the flag and going in. But as it is now, this is I think must make for Madeline right now.
She needs to summon all of her positive energy, all of the incredible putts that she has made this week. She needs to summon everything she has right here in this moment. We saw this a putt that Nelly had a couple groups ahead that has a tremendous amount of break and is very fast.
That was top class and just speaks to the way that these two players have played so far this week. You saw how difficult that putt was. Morgan mentioned it. Nelly Korda had it. Massive swing from left to right, and she's talked about aim point, her Sagström, and how well she's used it this week. That was a prime example, that technique to read the line. That was such a difficult putt. Now this one for Rose.
I don't see a huge amount in this one, Tom. I mean, it was just such a tremendous shot to even set herself up for this, but I mean, what a putt by Madeline.
Rose is one ahead as they head to that 72nd tee. Fantastic golf from Rose Zhang in the closing stages, right when she needed to do it. She's come up with the goods.
It's Madeline Sagström. It's the first time since the second hole yesterday trails. It's time for Putt Smarter, presented by the Odyssey AI1 putters. This was Sagström earlier, bouncing back Morgan from a bogey at 1. Got that one to drop, and then at the 8th for another.
She loves this 8th hole. She talks about how she feels like she can read these greens really well. Feels very comfortable.
Rose in tight for birdie. Sagström had this for par just seconds ago.
This is one of the most clutch putts you will ever see. What a moment.
Our Putt Smarter, presented by the Odyssey AI1 putters. So the final pair on the tee at 18, up on the green, Gabby Ruffles for a closing birdie. Gabby's going to move into the lead in the Rolex Rookie of the Year standings. And back on the tee, it is Rose Zhang up by 1.
Well, first job here is to find the fairway. It is just all about a precision, just to put it into a good spot, and she has done just that.
I'm just thinking the thought here of Rose standing on this 18th tee with the one-shot lead. I didn't see that coming, Karen, standing in 14 fairway.
No, I didn't either, especially after she just missed that, 3-putted, the par 5 12th. I thought, maybe her time and moment have gone. But she's just managed to find a little something from that point on that has been mightily impressive. Madeline got to find something to answer here.
She missed this fairway a bit left yesterday. Heading up the left a bit, but that should be just fine.
Lesser woman would have lost hope. 3 down with 5 to play, but now Rose leads by 1 in the fairway at 18. Rose, with a victory, would have her second LPGA title. Just not even 12 months since her first, which was just down the road Liberty National, where she'll defend starting on Thursday. She'll move into the top 8 in the race to the Semi Globe, and there's a great chance that she would move inside. I think she will move inside the top 15 in the Rolex rankings and get into Olympic position. This is where we were just about an hour ago. Down by 3, now up by 1. How does it change for both players, Morgan, this situation?
Well, Madeline now has to be in full attack mode. I mean, both players have played really impressive golf today. Rose only missing 1 green, Madeline missing 3. Unfortunately, the last 2 have been costly.
Yeah, I think this is good. Yep.
So Madeline's got a sandwich. She's got 101 yards to the hole.
No, there's no running. To the right of it, I'm going over there 3, so it's 14.
There's a false front in front of this hole, but you do have 5 yards of green on top of that false front between that and the hole. This is far on all cylinders, a slight upslope.
Oh, this is coming back. Oh, when she really had to have it, Madeline delivers.
And that was, what a moment, knowing she had to control the spin, landing that all the way on the back fringe. That was close to being where Nelly Korda ended up in a really tough chip shot back there.
And she can't tell, Karen, right, how close it is. Here's Rose.
No, you can't tell. You're just waiting for the reaction from the crowd. Rose is 96. This is a gap wedge. Rose has to assume that Madeline's is close.
So is hers.
What a response. Took a little bit off that, choked up on that club a bit to control the spin. Beautiful shot.
Boy, when she got to Liberty National last year, Rose Zhang had just turned 20 years old. She had just won her 2nd straight NCAA title. And the idea of winning your professional debut was so out of the question. It wasn't even a record that people kept, and we were scouring the record books to try to find the last time it had happened. It had been more than 70 years since Beverly Hansen did it. And yet Rose won a playoff at that Mizuho Americas Open. Made the Solheim Cup team, which necessitated her winning as she did. Now, after taking some schooling in the winter quarter at Stanford, she's back a full-time student of the game, and she's going to have a putt to put this tournament on ice.
It's kind of, if you look at her very short career, especially professionally as a whole, you mentioned her losing her putter last year, lost a lot. She talks a lot about her putting. Post-round is something that she worked so much on, and knowing that it needs to improve. And other than a little bit of a blip in the middle of the round today, Karen, it's been really, really strong all week.
No question about it. I mean, you can't, underestimate how well these two have played. Every aspect of their game. You know, look at the difference between them and the player in 3rd place. It's been these two against each other all day. In fact, basically for 2 days.
This for the win. State again. Incredible.
I mean, just truly incredible perseverance. Her ball striking today, flawless. Led the field in greens and regulation and in putting this week. That is quite the combination, and what a moment to make the best putt of the day.
Her 4th birdie in her final 5 holes.
She almost looks like she can't quite believe it.
I can't. And now Sackstrom.
Madeline played so brilliantly all week. And they're both quite deserving of this title, but it's going to hurt. She's going to have to take as much confidence as she can from putting herself in that position and really performing well under pressure.
For a player who has made the incredible a regular occurrence, Rose Zhang has just done it again. And these players, these greats, these pioneers know how Madeline feels. One more look for Rose to close it out. Well, on Mother's Day, her dad Henry could hardly contain himself. Everything about this is stunning.
I mean, it was just what a weekend. The two, Madeline and Rose, just heads and shoulders above everybody else in the field. Just put on such a show for us. And Rose clutch at the very end when it mattered the most.
Well, Karen's going to try to help us make sense of it all. She's with our winner.
And Grant, I'm not sure that I can make sense of it, but I'm going to see if Rose can make sense of it. I mean, after the 12th hole, you go 3 shots behind. What did you tell yourself to turn things around in that moment?
I honestly didn't tell myself anything. I'm still shaking right now, but I think I never gave up. I always knew that I had something in me to just grind it out, enjoy the time, and Madeline's an extremely solid player, so without further ado, like, she was basically hitting every single shot next to the hole, making putts, and I had to prepare myself for the toughest challenge. But it's crazy that this happened.
You do seem to rise to the occasion. We've seen it numerous times. You did it as an amateur. You've done it now twice as a pro with your 2nd LPGA Tour win. What is it within you? What do you find?
It's honestly very cliche, but I have to give it back to my faith. I think I had so much strength in me to really go out there and try my best, and without any other consequences or no matter what I shoot, I'm going out there and I'm glorifying God. So, I mean, this is for him for sure.
And you talked a little bit about the battle with Madeline. Basically, these last 2 days, it's been you and her against each other. Did it feel that way to you when you were just playing against her, like a proper match play situation?
It almost felt like match play. I was telling my dad in the car yesterday that I played her at Solheim Cup last year, and I knew she was a solid player. No matter what anyone else says, I know that she can rise to the occasion, no problem. So I had to really stay patient and find it in me to get it done.
And this is obviously the Founders Cup. And to do this in front of the pioneers, you've got Beth Daniel, got Pat Bradley standing over there, World Golf Hall of Fame members, LPGA Hall of Fame members, and for the Founders. Does this make this victory even more special for you?
100%. Like I said before in previous interviews, I don't think Beth, Pat, they don't get enough recognition for what they've done for the game, for the LPGA, and for their accolades to really shine now. It's honestly an honor to be able to play in front of them, let alone win. So I'm so grateful that they've been here to support all the players, and basically everything they do, it doesn't go unnoticed.
Thanks so much. Many congratulations on your second victory, Rose.
Thank you.
So wise beyond her years. Just 20. And again, a winner. The LPGA Tour.
And I think about where she was a year ago here. Not here specifically because she was still in school. Hadn't yet turned professional. And heading into her title defense next week with the second win under her belt. You know, after that win last year, I feel like everybody put their eggs in the Rose Zhang basket. And she had a wonderful year, but maybe wasn't the year that people really expected of her. And then to start this season, you know, in spending some time at school, not able to 100% focus on golf, it's been impressive what she's been able to do here this week. I mean, these last 5 holes, truly remarkable.
A year ago, she was getting ready to defend her NCAA title. She did. Then she turned pro. She won. Now she is a winner again. A huge comeback to win by 2. Make it a comeback to Jersey. Rose Zhang. 3 back with 5 holes to play. And that birdie slammed the door shut. A disappointment for Madelyn Sägström. But it was Rose birdieing 4 of her last 5 holes to win by 2. She moves to 7th in the projected standings in the race to the CB Globe. And again, she figures to move inside the top 15 with this victory in the Rolex rankings, with 5 more events to go to qualify for the Olympics. While we have a moment, let's send it down to Tom.
Well, thanks, Grant. Professional golf gives you so many opportunities, but sometimes it really stings. And I would think today would be one of those moments because it was such a great battle between the 2 of you coming home. Is there a moment on that back 9 where you think, God, I'd love to have that again?
I think that, I mean, if I would have given myself probably, I mean, a better chance. I had a putt pretty good on 13. When then she made birdie 14, 15, those get kind of hard. And I hit a really good shot into 16. I was not expecting it to fly that far, and just chip shot didn't come out the way I thought. So it's just, I mean, it's golf. She played fantastic, and I mean, I was playing well. I was hitting the ball good enough, I thought. I made a very good up and down 17, hit a really bad shot that was kind of in between numbers on the last. Not on 18, but on 17, 16, and 15. So I was like, I hit decent shots, but it wasn't meant to be.
Rose said in her interview that she knew you were going to rise to the occasion today. What do you take from today?
I mean, just being in this position, I think, I mean, this is what we're all trying to do. We're trying to feel these nerves. I mean, I was nervous today. I mean, I chunked the chip on 1. It's just pure nerves. And I think that it's, I mean, you're not going to learn by not being here. And I mean, I played unbelievable golf this week. I mean, we're the only 2 that's been really low. So, I mean, I have to look at the positive. It sucks now. Yeah, it hurts a bit. It hurts at this course because I really like this place. But my time will come.
In terms of the way you played today, where does it rank in terms of the best golf you played in your life, and what's going to come over the next several weeks and months?
Oh, no, it's up there. I mean, I've struck it so nicely this week. I have, I've worked really hard for a long time. I putted incredible. So it's just, I mean, of course, it's really high up. That's probably why it hurts more. Nothing against, like, Rose. She played incredible, but I kind of wish I gave myself a few more chances in the end there. I didn't want it to end it that way. But, I mean, this is probably the best golf I've played in years. So I know I'm in the right direction, and I'm hoping to give myself some more chances.
You got a lot of fans out there, a lot of people rooting for you. Thanks for taking the time today.
Thanks. They're almost happy tears. Thank you.
Madelyn, you are a champion in every sense of the word. Thank you for that time. And Rose celebrating. You go back to this very first hole where Madelyn made bogey. How about this shot, Morgan?
This was quite wild. Could barely get her footing in that steep slope of the bunker. Almost falls back in the bunker. Really holes it
With them now tied, Sägström bounces back with a big birdie.
That putter has really been key for her all week and continues the same to start the day.
And then Rose, one down at this point, this beauty.
Really controls this nicely with the ball below her feet, soft greens, and takes advantage.
Tied at this point, they go to the 5th, and Sägström first to play.
You know, it's really exactly what you want to see when you have two players in this position. You want to see some incredible golf and them continuing to put pressure on each other. And that one at 5 did just that for Rose.
And how would Rose respond?
In this moment, you see your opponent in there tight, you really take dead aim. There's no other option, and that actually ended up just inside of Madeline's.
So that each would make birdie, tied at 20 under, and then at the 6th, Sägström.
And they moved this tee box up a bit today, playing as one of the easier holes on the golf course. Madeline using the backstop to perfection.
She rolled that in, and she took the lead by 1. Both hit the green at the par 3 8th. Sägström went first. Hers dropped. Rose made par.
Rose's putter went a little bit cold there in the middle of the round. A 3-putt par on 12. Looked like it might have been the end, but did not give up.
3 down at this point, but then just 2 shots back. After that one curls in, and this duel in the sun began to get a little more interesting, and this was her tee shot at 15.
An all-important shot right here. Beautiful ball control.
She would roll that in for birdie. Sägström made par, and the lead was 1. Rose in the fairway bunker at 16, hit it up onto the green. Sägström a little deep. That would lead to a bogey, and incredibly, they were tied in just a span of 3 holes. And then at 17, watch how close she comes to the tree line.
Yeah, this was a really aggressive shot in this moment. I'm not quite sure that was exactly where she was aiming, but she would roll that in for another birdie.
Sägström, before Rose made birdie, had this for par after finding the fairway side bunker.
Such a clutch putt. She absolutely must make.
So it was Sägström 1 down going to 18. She went first.
Knew she had to come up with something special, potentially even hole it, but at least give herself a shot at birdie. And Rose knew it was tight. She could hear the reaction from the crowd.
And then Rose to answer. And that great shot meant that Rose would go first with a chance to end it, no matter what Sägström would do.
Just a little bit outside right here. Beautiful stroke. Best stroke she made all day at the perfect moment.
And it was that flat blade winning the duel in the sun with Madeline Sägström. And Rose Zhang, 20 miles from where she made a little LPGA history the first week of June last year, wins again here in the Garden State of New Jersey.
The sun came out at the end. You guys are absolutely amazing.
And Madeline,
You want one on there?
Yeah.
Anyone here?
Thank you. They take a
in the
picture.
midst of her disappointment, bringing joy.
Lexi, turn around.
She is a true champion on and off the golf course, and
Great job, Sam.
I love her perspective after talking to Tom there.
Thank you.
Well, we're trying to put a bow on this here, and it's been amazing to think about what's happened over the last 48 hours. You noted it early that those two players began to separate themselves. It was a 4-shot lead that they shared going into round 3 yesterday. And then they pulled away even more. 66 from Sagstrom on Saturday, 67 from Rose Zhang. It was the two of them. They put on quite a show.
The show was legendary. It was very impressive from both of them. It could have gone either way. And the way that Madeline played, I loved what she said there. You know, she is playing some of the best golf she's played in years, and she needs to take all of that confidence heading into the rest of the season. There's a lot of big events coming up. But Rose, I mean, when it looked like her back was up against the wall, she really came through that birdie putt on the 14th hole. Again, that fabulous shot, and the 2 par 3s on the last 4 holes, 15 and 17, really sealing the deal for her, and an incredibly clutch putt, of course, on the last as well. And I'm even more excited now to watch Rose defend next week. It's going to be pretty special.
Yeah, the Mizuho Americas Open, where her mentor, Michelle Wee, is our host. The week ends with Rose Zhang back in the victory circle. It began at the Met Gala with Nelly Korda having won 5 straight tournaments, dazzling everyone there. And she comes up just a little bit short. Obviously, a large deficit here by the time it's all said and done. But how about what Nelly Korda's done this year? And it didn't go her way this weekend. A rare moment.
It's been really spectacular to be able to watch Nelly Korda accomplish the 5 straight victories. I'm really excited for her this summer. She is playing incredible golf. I know it wasn't really what she wanted. She's going to be disappointed with the over par performance this weekend. She definitely put herself in position to have another run at 6 in a row. But, you know, at the start of the year, we weren't sure who it would be, who would step out of that pack and really take control of the #1 ranking, who would really be a dominant figure. And Nelly Korda has proved to us that she wants it, and has gone and gotten it.
Just a few weeks ago, the top 3 in the Rolex rankings were separated by 0.15 points. And now it's Nelly lapping the world of women's golf. But this week, it's Rose Zhang roaring from behind, a valiant roar. 4 birdies in her last 5 to come from 3 down to win by 2. Great weeks for these other players. Gabby Ruffles, Roning Yin, all important points towards a variety of standings. And a reminder, as we said, it's the Mizuho Americas Open. First round coverage comes your way Thursday, 3 o'clock Eastern Time on Peacock and Golf Channel. Thanks to our producer, Jesse West, director Pete Esposito, and our entire team. For Morgan Pressel, Karen Stupples, Tom Abbott, and for all of us, happy Mother's Day to all of you out there. I'm Grant Boone. Thanks for watching the LPGA Tour here on Golf Channel. At this tournament, honoring those who've embroidered the memories down the passage of time. It is an American